Bashers.
Is that our new theme?
I don't know. I just made it up. Bashers.
Bashers.
You can. I'll let you do the arrangement.
I think trombones, a few trumpets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a shuffle on the drums.
Yeah. Bashers. Retard. Did you have fun on Who Needs a Drink?
Yeah. In the end, I went on to communism, and
I was watching it.
I got bashed, but that's okay.
Well,
I was expecting it. I knew what to expect.
Slippery slope, that communism.
Yeah, I know, man.
You know, because everybody just thinks it is one thing. They don't know what it is, really. I mean, idealistically, isn't Star Trek communism?
Yes, it is.
Sure it is.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as currency.
There's no money. Yeah,
there's no money.
There's no talk of money other than when they encounter alien races that might have some form of currency. But
they need to trade with them or whatever.
Yeah, they trade. They'll go to like Raylon 5. And that's like the great trading colony. And then they'll see slave girls, all the terrible things that we've done to humanity, they'll find in other civilizations. And of course, because of the Prime Directive, they're not allowed to interfere. The Prime Directive is a very serious thing, and they break it all the time.
What's the Prime Directive? Excuse me.
Ooh, the Prime Directive in Star Trek is to not interfere with the development of any alien civilization. So, example would be don't change their destiny. Like there's a great episode of my personal favorite show, Enterprise, which you know all about. And I don't know if the viewers know, but I'm a big Enterprise junkie. They encounter a race, two races coexisting on one planet, and for some crazy reason, one of the species is considered the lesser, and there's a really bad pandemic that's killing one of the species, the superior species, and for some reason it doesn't affect the lesser ones. And when Captain Archer and Dr. Phlox and T'Pol show up there, he figures out a way to he with the hypospray, he figures out a way to cure the disease that they have, but Archer is hesitant to employ it because it would be going against the Prime Directive, and in the end he does not. But what he does do is he teaches the both species that they're the same. They're genetically the same. They scan them both. They have the same DNA. They're the same thing, pretty much, just like us. Just like all of the races here are the same. So you can't do that. You also can't. There's another example where there's an episode called The Communicator, and it's where they're spying. They dress in alien garb of whatever period they're able to concoct costuming to fit in. And because everybody has 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a nose, lucky for us all, just sci-fi. They leave a communicator on the table in the bar they're in, because of course all species have bars.
That's the universal concept.
It's universal. Right? Where are you going, Dr. Lazarus? To see if there's a pub.
To see if there's a pub.
Right. To see if there's a pub.
Let's see if there's a pub.
Fucking genius. So they leave a communicator, and then when they realize they're patting them down and they're going through decon, oh shit, we have to go back and get it. But no, the race found it and they don't know what it is. So that's another thing that goes against the Prime Directive, leaving any of your signatures behind. Don't interfere. Don't leave signatures. Don't let them see your spacecraft. So basically, you're allowed to get in and get out, analyze, but you're not allowed to help them do stuff. You have to leave them be. That's the Prime Directive.
Wow.
Gene Roddenberry's from day one. Every series deals with the Prime Directive. It's very cool. TOS is good, but corny. All the new ones are trash. Oh, Tobster McDonkey. We love you though, because you always have such good chitter chatter. Well, the original one is the 60s, isn't it? It's camp. It's fun. It's very colorful. But what's really great about it is because it was a product of Desilu Studios, Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, pioneers in television, especially later after the I Love Lucy show, which they pioneered the 3-camera. Desi Arnaz invented the 3-camera shoot. And Desilu went on to produce incredible television, especially with color, introducing color. So the late, mid 60s, we're talking 1966. That's when the first Star Trek aired. And there was like a year and a half in between the original pilot and then the series, because they had to retool the whole thing because they had a different captain. They had the only person that was there was Spock. So they went and they recast the whole thing. And the first one's called The Cage. That's the very first episode, which has gone on to become like a featurette. It's not canon. It's not considered canon because it's because they went completely against it. But back to Tobster. It's very colorful. It's indicative of the time. And the best part about it is it's shot on 35 millimeter film. So when they went in to restore Star Trek, it looked like David Lean. It was spectacularly shot.
The original movies or
the original series?
Episodes? Oh, the original. Okay.
Original series. The remaster, when they went in to fix it, like they would do with Gone with the Wind or The Wizard of Oz, they 8K scanned the film,
right?
And Technicolor is 3 strips of film. It's red, green, blue, and they're glued together. That was what they had. So the images, even back when you went to Grauman's or Radio City to see Gone with the Wind or The Wizard of Oz, one of these big colossal films, Ben-Hur, they were 3 pieces of film strip that were glued together. So now what they do is they pull the strips apart, they clean them, get all the glue off, go in there and fix whatever's scratchy or whatever, and they're digitally scanned. So now they digitally put them back together. So now they've never been sharper, clearer, or more colorful. It's an incredible technology. So they take the original film strips, scan them at 8K, and then just bump them down to 1080p and put them on TV or 4K. It's fantastic.
Hey, check this out. We've got 100 people actually watching the iBashers on the iBashers channel. That's a first.
Yay. Come on, kids. It's ready. You know what I got today? I'm having, in honor of my Venetian friend, I'm having a select spritz. Why is that?
Oh, nice.
I'm having a select spritz, which I made, and it's gorgeous. Why is it so blurry?
Oh, that's nice. I like the color.
Yeah. With my our favorite hotel in Venice is the Excelsior on the Lido, and
not anymore. My favorite is the Amman.
Now it's the Amman because you've just been. I mean, for obvious reasons. Oisin texted me the other day to say, "Dude, the cuntiest place ever." And we kind of knew it, right? We knew it in the back of our heads, but we didn't dare because we've done a lot of crazy hoteling in our worlds. But for some crazy reason, you always go, "Oh, the Amman," that's where Clooney got married. And then he went and he showed me all the photographs, and it was just a collection of debauchery on the highest level. We're talking about first, premier Grand Crus, the most ridiculous wines.
I had 2 that night, and then third growth. A lot of it was I was with. I think Palmer is a third. No, check it.
I know it's not a second.
No,
it's not a deuxième. I think Palmer's lower than that. I think it might be.
Oh, really?
That's a good question.
It was in 1990 and it was perfectly kept. So,
I mean, like Lynch Bage, a lot of these wines, because of the 1855 classification, they all got screwed because, there was a lot of payola going on back then. So the ones that made it in, I mean, there's only 5 Premier Grand Crus. There's only 5.
Right.
Lafite, Mouton, Mouton, Chateau, Chateau Margaux. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm actually
Latour.
Latour and the one with the thing on the front, so the one I got you for your birthday years ago.
O'Brien.
Hoprion. That's the 5. And then you got the Deuxièmes, and those are like the Pichons and all that stuff. Palmer might be. Let's see.
Benzo 1818. Thanks for the $5. Last time you guys said you hadn't seen Dead Man, Depp by director Jim Jarmusch, a fave. I highly recommend all his films, especially Dead Man and Ghost Dog. I heard of Ghost Dog recently. Somebody recommended Ghost Dog recently to me. I don't know who it was, if it was on one of these things or not. Interesting. Yeah.
Palmer's a third growth. Clesium.
It's third. You see?
Third. Yeah.
I knew.
And it was originally part of Chateau d'Essin. And they split the land up. Very interesting. Yeah.
Design Atelier makes a very good point. Upvote, guys. Why not? I never ask that. I never ask that shit. So there you go. I've asked it once. You've all got it. You all got the point.
Upvote. What does that mean, upvote? What does that mean?
I mean, it's like if you give us a thumbs up, it kind of helps the algorithm. I don't know. I don't know that shit. It draws more people into. The more upvotes it gets, the better it is for the episode. I'm not sure it makes a huge difference. I'm also not sure why people don't do it. Maybe they're watching on TV and they can't upvote. You need to be watching on an interactive device rather than a.
Yeah, I hate on my TV. I can't see
on the TV, right?
Yeah,
because it's usually a cinematic channel.
Sure,
for you, they like to watch it on their big screen. By the way, do you see behind me? There's no big screen. My OLED. Already moved to the new apartment, man.
So you took the new apartment?
I did.
Is that the one behind Andreas?
Oh, cute. Yeah. Well, don't tell the whole fucking world.
Well, they don't know what that means.
They'll figure it out.
Zigzag in the squirrel bag. They don't know what that means.
They'll figure it out. Some of these guys, you wouldn't believe the attention they pay. But anyway, it's fine.
Is that Giuseppe's place around the corner from Marinella? See, okay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that place.
Anyway, it's really nice, but I've got to get a lot of furniture. I have to buy a lot of stuff now. I have to.
What are we going to do about the table?
But I should hack it up, shouldn't I? I should chop the bloody thing up and leave it for the landlord. I
think it would be better to just put a rope on it and throw it out the window and just have one of the guys from Lineage.
It's not going into that new place. There's no way in.
There's no way in.
Not for this 300 pound table. There's no way in. Lydia's laughing at me because every time I move apartments, I leave big tables behind me because I love kitchen table. I love big long tables and banquet tables. She's like, you're leaving them all over the place. RQ180, Chateau de Chem and Fragua. Because of course a sauterne will go well with a Fragua because it's such a sweet meat. But you don't like either. You don't
meat. It's not meat. It's the worst, cruelest, sickest, most horrible thing that human beings have ever done to any other living creature.
The second worst.
What's the first worst?
The other one is ortolan.
Oh yes, that's right.
Ortolan is the worst. I don't think anywhere can serve ortolan.
And I didn't know what that was until you told me about it. And then when I Googled it, I was just
terrible, right?
I mean, and of course, forgive me, our French fans, but of course it's the French.
Yeah, because they bloody eat anything, right?
Because they will pickle, I mean, it's a bird that they let drown in brandy.
That's it. That's ortolan. And by ingesting, and they won't just like kill it and put the poor thing out of its misery and then put it in the brandy. No, it has to breathe in and ingest and drown in the brandy. So then it gets right into the. It's like, Jesus Christ, are you ever thinking about the poor creature at any point?
No. I mean,
we didn't care.
M3 Carlino had said in one of the chats, it's not as bad as farm chicken. Nothing. And I always say this. Listen, I haven't eaten meat in 40 years. how many chickens are there? Think about the consumption of chicken by the world population. It is staggering. And it's because they have these giant boxes, hangars filled with chickens walking around in their own excrement and their own dead. And that's what you're eating. Bon appetit.
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
It's factory farming is the beginning of the problem. I mean, I love meat and I eat meat every day. It really agrees with me. And if it was 100 years ago, I wouldn't have an issue. But now factory farming is the problem. It's when things got really exaggerated out of hand. Sure. It's one thing if you're in the wild and you have to kill a bear to eat. Okay, great. It's a totally different thing. Factory farming is a completely perverse, different version of that. And that's the problem. So, but I've said this to you many times, maybe not to get heavy into the subject, but if it was announced tomorrow that we can't eat meat anymore, I wouldn't cry. I mean, I'll miss it. I'll have a big steak and go, oh, well, that's the end of that. But I'd also say, you know what? It's probably about time we got rid of this because we shouldn't be doing this anymore. We shouldn't be doing it. It's kind of wrong. And I'm the biggest steak I'm going to have a steak after we're finished.
Yeah, you're a big steak guy.
One like thawing out on the
sink. Sand snake, there's no reason for you to flirt with Oisin, okay? That's just rude.
You're bringing great energy to the room. I didn't have this energy even on my thing. I can't believe people. I
had a nice day today.
You did?
I mean, it was good. It was easy breezy. Yeah, I had a good day. It was nice.
Nice.
It's a lovely weather. It's a little bit crisp, a little bit cool in the New York metropolitan area, and and I was like, I'm gonna have a select spritz. I got a bottle of. What is this called? This is like local shit. Bartonura. You probably know the Bartonura, right? I have a very funny looking. I'm going to turn that off.
You got a filter on or something.
I didn't mean to. I was goofing around with my green screen, which I don't have. I'm not using it now.
It looks good, but you just can't show us anything next to you.
Right. There it is. Yeah. Good. There's my telly. There's my window because it's still light. So this is from the Veneto, Bartonura. So I said, let me get that. That'd be fun. Very strange bottle. It's very small. I know it's very dark in my room, but it's very small. It's 750 mil, but anyway, the whole meat thing. I mean, yeah, it's gross. We're the only. Well, actually, I used to say this was my mantra for years and years and years that humans are the only species on this planet with malice, and I now know that that's not true. Because I was in Venice and I saw the gabbiano, the seagulls. They're the most evil creatures on earth because we watched them drown a pigeon in a puddle.
Yeah, for no reason. There is malice in the animal kingdom. Of course there is.
I didn't think that there was malice.
Have you ever seen the life of a cheetah? It's the worst of all time. First of all, a cheetah, her fella leaves her immediately. Of course, he's gone, so she has to give birth to all the cubs, and she has to protect them and go looking for food.
Right, but is that malice though?
No,
it's survival.
It's survival. Then the lions come along and they discover the cubs. They don't eat them.
Yeah, they just kill them,
break their necks, just to take them out of the competition or the food chain. They just break their necks. So she comes back and all her cubs are like necks broken. Like nature is a brutal, horrible world. I know we watch it from a distance and film it and put music in the background. It's also
Richard Attenborough.
Yeah, right.
All that stuff.
The Amur leopard. It's all of that. Yeah, high in the Sierra Mountains, the Amur leopard. It's all that, but it's a fucking horrible place. It's a cold world, it's a difficult world, or it's a very hot world and a dry world. We've managed to figure out like a balance and where we can just go along to a supermarket and pick up a dead bird and bring it home and cook it. It's like a bizarre thing that we've done for ourselves.
Or check into the Amman.
And just drink wine.
Drink wine and sit on 1,000 thread count sheets. Yeah,
it was a very royal experience. The guy had a rose gold Audemars Piguet, and I had this thing on. So we
Yeah.
were just being super cunty.
What's his
And
worth? What's that worth? The rose gold one.
his
Less than that, right?
no, his rose gold. I think it was a 15,500 in rose gold. Let me see. It's a lot of money.
I
He
just
just
because
got it back
everybody
from
wants the
service.
steel.
Well, steel does, but yeah, come on, solid gold AP.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, that is not a small dick watch. That isn't. Like a lot of Rolex are.
Right.
That's a guy that's comfortable in his own skin, walking around with that thing. Now, our good friend Dana O'Malley sent us a text yesterday. Did you see it in the Cunt Club? That's our little group, the Cunt Club, because we're cunty.
Yeah, we're very cunty. What was the text again? Let me see.
There was a guy, and he was in their town in Southern California, and he was taking pictures of his McLaren, as you do, and he was wearing. They didn't say what kind of watch it was. They just said it was a Rolex. They put a picture up of what it probably wasn't. But he was robbed at gunpoint, and they beat him up. They stole his Rolex.
I was having this conversation with my friends here, Frollo, in the best watch store in Venice, by the way, Frollo, Frollo, guys. And I was saying, it was funny because I picked up did I show you this, by the way? I did, right? Because I got it back from service.
Yeah, you showed me, of course.
Yeah, let me put it back on. And it's funny because I walked around the other day with this on all day. And this is still close to 100 grand, this watch, okay? It dropped a tiny bit because of the slight lull in the market right now. Give it 3 months, it'll be back at, it'll be at 150 or something, right? I wore this kind of all day. And people don't look at your watches. We're watch fans. Like, we think, oh, they're looking at my watch. They don't give a shit about your watch. Most people, right? Unless they're a watch head. But I had this on. I mean, walking around the city and sitting at the or sitting at the Quadri. And I swear to God, you know how many people I saw eyeing my watch? Eyeing it. Women and men just eyeing the watch. I don't know whether they knew what it was, but they saw it. It attracts attention because it's gold, because it's precious metal. And, it's funny. All that glitters. And we were having that discussion, and Simone said quite rightly, he's like, you need to be into watches to know what the AP is. You don't need to be into watches to see that's an expensive watch, probably. And so it makes you a target. But this city is so safe. Like, there's so little of that kind of stuff. I guess California ain't so safe anymore.
Well, I mean, when I visited them, I was shocked we went to some cute little, SoCal wine ranch. I don't know what you'd call it. And there were McLarens, 4 or 5 McLarens in the parking lot. That's a very big car there. For some reason, everybody's buying the McLarens in Southern California. So it's kind of dime a dozen. So, I don't know. You wouldn't think. And they live in a very, they live in a town that is surrounded by some of the wealthiest towns. Like, Kim Kardashian and those people live in the next town.
Right.
And speaking of Kim Kardashian, which I never do, because
hang on just one moment, Des Ferris. Thank you so much, Des.
Thank you, Des.
£20. Evening, gents, just tuning in. Bank holiday weekend here in Ireland, and also Brandon's 15th birthday. I've got to reach out to Brandon.
Cheers
to celebrate. Cheers, Brandon. Happy birthday. I'll reach out to you on Instagram, man. 15, man. Is he getting a watch, Des? Are you getting him a new watch?
Not for 15.
Well, he already got, I think Brandon got, if I remember correctly, a Tag Heuer, like a Formula One thing, because he's into Formula One. Yeah. Go ahead, Dirk. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just segueing into, not that anyone should care because she's a vapid piece of nothingness. Kim Kardashian got her original sex tape hard drive back from Kanye. Was a hero, and this was all over the news yesterday. I was like, who cares? kind of in the sex tape that Kim Kardashian that launched her career, and she's now a
Yes.
billionaire.
She
And
is.
and she's a billionaire because she did a sex tape with that guy Ray J.
Yes.
And it was, I saw some of it, was grotesque. And
It's kind of crap.
it's total crap.
I was looking at the sex going, Jesus, guys, get it on for fuck's sake. Like, when does it pick up here? Like, you're in first gear the whole time. Anyway, whatever. I digress.
I mean, first of all, pornography in its higher form, if there's an art to it, these people are actors and they know what they're doing and they're making it titillating for people. And, that's the objective, to turn people on. Watching a regular couple have the rides is certainly no great shakes, especially if they open up their mouths and say horrible things like, you're my mommy, you're my daddy, embarrassing, sexy chat, which is just, like we talked the other day about, last week about Army Hammer saying, I want to eat you. Well, a lot of guys say,
he meant literally. He meant
did
literally.
He didn't literally eat her, though.
For the first time. Yeah, but I want to eat you, as in I want to literally take a slice and stick it on the frying pan. No,
but
isn't that his thing?
It's it's not his thing. He doesn't done it.
But isn't that what goes around about him? Isn't that why he's cancelled now?
But that's what everybody said, because I don't know.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
If people had a microphone and everyone recorded what people say in the bedroom in the throes of lust and love, I mean, we'd all be canceled with some of the stuff that we say. It's terrible. No one should ever hear people's sex chat. It's hard. I mean, I used to, forgive me, I won't say any names, but I had a neighbor whom I adore, and she knows him very well.
He means adore in a friendly way. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love the guy.
Yeah.
My bathroom, which is subway tiled, is adjacent to his headboard. So before he's got married and stuff, he had a bevy of, he's a handsome guy, fantastic girls over there. But it would be like, oh, Jays, I'd be watching the TV and I'd be like, oh, fuck's sake. And I'd have to close the door because it would be like a reverb chamber at Abbey Road Studios amplifying. And I heard some things that I'm like, oh, you didn't. Oh, no one should ever hear that. So
you're watching Breaking Bad and you're like turning up the volume, go fuck, I don't want to hear this fucking shit.
Terrible. I mean, it's embarrassing to hear what goes on between two people in the bedroom goes on between two people in the bedroom, and should never come out. And when it does, everyone judges you, and then they says you're a freak, or you're an ice queen, or you're a cannibal. All kinds of stuff.
Kim got that hard drive back. Well, what does that mean? It means nothing. Everybody has
nothing. Copy. Everybody's got a copy of it. That's what I was like. It was all over the news.
Mind you, does anyone give a shit anymore? Wasn't that like 1,000 years ago? And
it's for some crazy reason. I don't know what network did it, but after their horror show, their terrible whatever that was called, went off the air. They were like, we're done sharing our world, we're done with dating every black man in the world and showing how diverse we are and all this crap, and it's just bullshit. Right. Then they get a massive show, I think it was with ABC or HBO. It's a giant network, picked them up for a brand new show. Now it's just the Kardashians, and one of the episodes she cries, you finally got the tape back. It's digital, sweetheart. Everyone has it.
Yeah, like it solved anything. It hasn't solved a thing. Symbolic only.
Yeah, and also, that tape. Without that tape, you'd still be a one-eyebrowed Armenian bitch living in Southern California, looking like fucking eating Taco Bell with a big fat arse. You wouldn't have any of the
that was
electrolysis and the plastic surgery. It is the catalyst that catapulted you into being a billionaires.
And it set a standard. Remember Lawrence Fishburne, the actor, Morpheus from The Matrix? His daughter, he's amazing. His daughter made a sex tape to attract that kind of attention. And he told her, please do not do this. Like, I'm your dad, I'm in the fucking industry, I can get you some auditions, I can put in a good word, please do not do this for fame. And she did it anyway, and it led to nothing and just embarrassment for him as a father.
Hey, I saw your daughter's vagina last night. That's all he got out of it.
That's it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, it's just a horrible talking point. And it led to nothing. That was, Jesus, that was 5 or 6 years ago. But they thought, or she thought, oh my God, I should do exactly what Kim did.
Thomas, you're mad.
Thomas.
Wow.
I try to never miss a stream. Hope to meet you someday. By the way, Mr. North Everything is a freaking incredible song. Thank you. It's a nice song. That's a nice song. I'm trying to think, what can I say about that song? That was kind of the beginning of that third album.
Yeah, that was the first song you played for me.
Everything is actually about drug addiction. Not that I know anything about that, other than, you know, I love my wine and stuff. But it's about when that thing is everything to you, and that the whole world becomes clear. I'll just talk about the song for a minute because you just gave me $250. So, I mean, what can I do? There's a lot of piano happening in there. There's a lot of piano motifs. And one of my favorite things. Oh, here's something. Here's a few things now. They're all coming back to me. I don't think about the band much anymore.
So coming back to me now.
Yeah. I copy Emmett's guitar solo on piano. So the guitar solo is mirrored on piano at the same time. And here's another interesting thing. The bass guitar in that song ain't me. It's the singer. It's Colin. He's a really good bass player.
Colin's a great bass player. Did he play bass on everything?
He played bass on that song because I was playing the keyboards in the studio and he had the bass and he was just jamming it out. And he's got a great instinct.
Great ear for parts. He does.
Yeah. But also like good hands. He's got big, chunky, heavy hands, Colin. Yeah. And he just like, he has the right hands. I always cringed seeing him play a little Telecaster, just thinking, God, he's gonna knock that thing out of tune any second, because
he always does.
A heavy touch, because bass strings have that like big, he could attack it and it would fight back, you know. But he had a lovely rhythm and stuff and lovely ear for parts. So I always liked when Colin took the bass. It was like someone else taking their wrong instrument and something new would happen. Sure. And in the end, I kept those parts. I played it in the studio and I was like, you know what? I prefer Colin's parts. I'm the bass player, but I'm just like, you know what? I prefer what he's done. And by now we've built the song around what he did in that first session. So fucking leave it. I fixed a couple of little small bits. So I do that in my own bass playing too. And so it's kind of funny because that's all him.
I love that. And I did not know that. And I thought, because I'm the keeper of the archive, I've got everything, every demo you ever did. I did not know that was him. And he's never offered that information. Does he even know that you left his bass playing in?
Yes, he knows. Yeah. Of course, because that's sugar in the mouth, man. I mean, I'll give that, especially that guy, right? He really loves any compliment going his way. Like, I'll throw that shit at him because, you know,
he's a great bass player. I
the whole day. You know?
That's great.
But he's a good player. It was genuine. I'm a dick. Like when it comes to production, are you kidding me? I'll fucking slice that shit out if I don't think it's good. But no, it was great. You know what? He also played bass on another couple of songs on that record. Really? I think he played. You know what he played bass on? Polar Bear. That's his bass playing. Yeah, because I'm on piano.
Sure.
So
but it's in the studio. It's not live. You could just go back in and do it. But
and I did, and it's not as good.
The guy's got studio did you cut those tracks at?
At Clinton.
Oh, Jesus God. That's because you were on Bill Evans' Steinway.
Yes, that's what I played.
So you did the basic tracks live. Of course you would keep that in there. Of course.
Yeah.
That's now a condo. That building is gone. That room is gone. That beautiful studio gone. It's great that we're all able to have fancy microphones and preamps, and we can make records in our houses. It's great. But Sheen and I are both lucky to be men of a certain age where we went into studios and we made records on 2-inch tape.
Yeah.
With big desks, big Neves, big SSLs. And if you don't know what that means, it's like when you think of a recording studio, you think of this giant desk with all the faders, the levers all over it. That doesn't, I mean, it exists, but they're few and far between, and most people do their records at home. But there was no other way to do a record back in the day than go to an expensive studio that charged you by the hour, and you had, okay, guys, you got 4 hours to get 4 songs, basic tracks done, and then you do another day for overdubs, guitar, whatever, and then there'd be one day for the vocalists, because we need tea and turn the air conditioning off, and somebody to fan us, because everybody's got their quirks in the studio. But now it's just, now if I cut a track, I'm sitting here exactly now. I even sit when I sing now.
Really?
Yeah, my microphone's set up just like this.
Wow.
And I just go. It's not like you'd have a Neumann or a Telefunken, one of these $bazillion microphones, and you put like 10 of them out and you try a verse on each mic to see which one was the one that's special for your voice. That was good stuff, man. It's good
Thomas,
shit.
again, $50 for the cheater and the cheated. I really enjoyed you playing multiple instruments. Dirk, you're awesome too. Hope to see you on AC3 the next time you want to stay up ungodly late. Yeah. That's Archie, as you know.
Can I ask a stupid question? Not to completely make a right turn, but I will.
Well, thank you, Thomas, by the way.
Thank you, Thomas. You're a legend and a gentleman.
Legend, man.
There's a guy on, I don't know who he is. He's a newcomer to Archie and Tim's stream. He's kind of a I don't know, kind of nondescript Araby looking guy, and he doesn't like you. What's his problem with you?
Are you talking about Lord?
I don't know who he is. I don't know. Is that his name? It's kind of like.
Does he have a kind of a really? Does he have a deep voice and a kind of almost a unibrow?
That's him.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. He's just got an issue.
He made videos saying, "I rant on O'Sheen, rant on O'Sheen," and I'm like, oh.
He's Jewish. He loves. I don't know. Actually, I think maybe he has a bit of self-loathing or something.
He's a self-loathing Jew.
I think he might be, and he should take the Woody Allen approach. Like, I may hate myself, but it's not because I'm Jewish, right?
What is it an Israel versus Palestine?
No. He's pro-Palestinian rights, which is great.
Then what? Why would he? You are the king of pro-Palestinian rights.
Yeah. But I made a quip. It's like, when you say, "Oh, I wouldn't know that guy if he stood up in my soup." It's a very English and Irish thing. More English thing to say. I wouldn't know him if he stood up in my soup, or I wouldn't know him if he punched me in the face, or I wouldn't know him if he. And I said something. He insulted me because I did a Dylan Thomas poem thing because Archie's friend died, and he said, Archie said his friend was a fighter till the end. I'm not going down without a fight. And I thought that's very courageous and very beautiful. And I was a little drunk one night on Archie, and I was like, oh, that reminds me of Dylan Thomas. Like, do not go gentle into that good night.
Sure,
old men should, they fight, rage against the dying of the light. And I kind of breezed through it kind of quickly because Archie's stream is let me get, and all the trolls and all the worst of the worst are all in there, just fucking. And so I breezed through it, but he took this opportunity to kind of go, oh, you didn't recite the poem properly. I can do it better. I'm like, okay,
wait. First of all, you're going to tell me that you're going to recite. All right, maybe you were a bit drunk. Someone's going to recite poetry better than an Irishman? I don't think so.
I didn't have. It's not like I had a silent background, right?
Sure.
I didn't have that. Do not go gentle into that good night. I could do it if we wanted to do it.
I have a great idea. Okay, tomorrow, I don't know if you've been drinking. You were online for 2 hours, so I'm thinking you might have been. I think you should just recite that poem with a beautifully poignant background tomorrow and upload it and say, Lord, go fuck yourself.
I don't need to because
No, you don't. But
it's fine.
it's so petty. He's looking for clicks.
Probably. But anyway, we went on to another stream and he started into me. And I was like, oh, you wouldn't know a good recital if it stood up in your soup. And I thought, oh, this is the guy who went on about like dating Jewish girls and so on. I was like, if it stood up in your matzo ball soup, you know, as if like the same way, like, oh, you're an Irishman, you wouldn't know the Guinness and blah, 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 whatever. But
you wouldn't know if it stood up in your blood pudding.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it if it stood out of your bottle of whiskey. You know, you drunken Irish,
your potato.
Yeah, your potatoes, your plate of potatoes, as a little dig. To which I'd be like, touche, you know, of course, you know,
we're all
no
so
problem.
Sensitive.
Oh, he took it like, oh my God, this is the beginning of the, you know, the second Holocaust. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, couldn't take a joke at all. And then I was like, you know what? Don't do that because you're like, that's abusing that card. Like, that's a serious thing. And now you're abusing it because I was just like a stupid little dig and you're turning it into like I'm fucking Hitler Part 3. He called me Mel Gibson. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. So it was just the epitome of that exact problem. Like, Jesus Christ, guys, everybody calm the fuck down. This is not, you know. Anyway, so then he started going. Now he has a thing. Now he has a reason. But in the end, in the wash, it all came out. I think it all came out. Guy never liked me in the first place.
But I just don't get it.
I don't know why.
Little thing.
Yeah, but it all came out like I don't like his channel. I've never learned anything from his channel. Blah blah blah. He pushes Zero West. I don't push Zero West. I just tell the stories about World War II. Blah,
Everybody
blah, blah.
loves those. All right, fuck him then.
Right, but it was just like now he had a thing. And he's like a really tiny channel, and he's got the charisma of a fucking potato.
His picture is beige. Everything in the photograph, everything in the shot is beige. It's just washed out and beige looking.
No, but I don't feel like sorry, I should take everything back. I don't want to pick on the guy. He's got.
I asked the question. You're not doing anything. I saw several videos that had your name in it, like I went off on a sheen and blah blah blah, and I was like, what the fuck beef does that guy have with you?
Well, also, yeah, by putting in my name, like people will be searching and he'll get more clicks because of that.
Yeah,
so there could be that too. So I don't really mind if that's his way of getting more clicks. He can. That's called chasing coattails or something, you know, or ambulance chaser or whatever that's called. You know, what's the proper term for that? Just using someone else's popularity to gain your own power.
Yeah, what's getting it just that? I mean, you just said it, riding someone's coattails.
Right.
You know, or getting in someone's jet stream. You know?
He's actually not a bad guy. He's actually a very smart guy, actually. He's just a little strange, a little left of center, and he has this it's probably jealousy. Jesus Christ, jealousy is my biggest problem with humanity. Like, once we get rid of that, most of our problems are it's a drug.
It's a drug. The worst. It's the worst thing. And you know, I will say, early in my 30+ years relationship, I suffered from jealousy somewhere in the middle there, and it was debilitating. I got over it. I mean, easily, but there are people. It creates paranoia. It creates incredible. I mean, I did some crazy things. I mean, jealousy can drive people mad. So, especially when you're trying to get somewhere. I mean, obviously in business, I've never had any kind of professional jealousy in my entire life. I've never been jealous of
someone else's success or whatever.
Never. I mean, like when I met you guys and you were on the up and up, and like this is way before you got your deal with RCA, and like I was just like, oh fuck, this band's so good, you know. And like for me, coming from the same thing you went through later on, like the big deal falls through, and you know, you got a big following and all that stuff. I saw the trajectory, but I was like, the difference between my thing was my band was a metal band. You guys had much broader appeal, but you were also prog as well.
Yeah.
Which was being a big Rush. Yes. Genesis, being a big fan of those milieus as well, I was like, okay, here's a band that's got like one of the most ridiculous singers I've ever heard in my life. Everyone is a master of their particular instrument. And here's the kicker. They can write singles, which is rare. Prog bands are not good at writing singles. Rarely, if ever.
Right.
So when you guys went through that whole shebang, and I'm forgetting my point here. What was the point? Where did we start? I remember that. Jealousy.
Yes.
Right. I was like, and then you got to deal with RC. I was like, yes. You're like so excited. And then like, oh, they told us to change our name to The Gain. I was like, oh no, I smell a rat already.
Yeah.
Because what's in a name? Bullshit. Yeah. And then you went through the same shit. But here's Thomas.
Yes, so she means Lord. Thank you so much, Thomas. Yes, that's the dude. Hey, bring some traffic over to him. I didn't want to make a thing about it because I don't want to necessarily nurture the garden from which missiles are being fired in my direction. But whatever, it's okay. I can take it. I'm a big boy. Ray, you're over here now as well. Ray sat through 2 hours of my nonsense as well.
If you have a speech impediment. Hi, Way.
I'm not selling my G-Shocks. Why would I sell those? They were gifts from the boys, from JJ and from Tim and all the other lads. Meant to hit 250. I don't know what you mean, Ray. Sorry, brother, but thanks, man. Thank you. Lord also, this is Benzo 1818.
That's what I saw.
War profiteering. That's an interesting topic because it's Zero West and he's on the, what's it called? Stolen Valor. The Stolen Valor crowd. He's on that train.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
As in, you use the story of men lost in the war to sell your product. Oh, come on.
I don't think it's that. I did catch that. Thanks, man, for chatting.
Yeah.
That was the part that I caught, and I was like, is he talking about your history films about Zero West, which are kind of like a Ken Burns thing, you know? So I guess Ken Burns is a Valor dude too, right? He's
I don't know.
Preeminent guy that I mean, I guess he's a Valor. What is the term called? A Valor what?
Stolen Valor, as in
well, he's a Valor thief then. All right.
Okay, I think Stolen Valor is, some people wrote to me who were actually they were of a certain age and they actually served, and because apparently some of my audience are in their late 70s, and it's kind of understandable, I think, but they're like,
white guys with money and Rolexes,
right? And they're older fellas who are like handing down their Rolexes to their sons or whatever. But they I've got a lot of messages from people saying, no, don't listen to those guys, you did them proud, you told the story really well, and God bless you, and so on. And I think the Stolen Valor thing really hits hard with, I think the first definition of it is this: when some guy wears the badges but he didn't serve. So he's looking for that valor, he's looking for that validation from people saying thank you for your service, but he didn't actually serve. And that exists. There are people who are so obsessed with that whole thing. They say, yes, I'm part of the military, and I did this, and I served a few tours in Iraq and so on. And they go through the airport and they just want to hear people say that they want to go to Starbucks and people say, coffee's on me, thank you for your service, when they actually didn't serve at all. That's Stolen Valor, right? That's the purest form of it, as far as I can tell. Second form of it is using the story or the sacrifice of these people in certain wars and so on, or any war, to make money or whatever. In which case, Steven Spielberg, take him right to jail because he told the story of Saving Private Ryan. He paid all his actors, he paid his crew, and he collected at the box office. But he still told the story. So it becomes a very kind of gray area there. On what side are you? So I told the story of these men and the watch that's in their name and dedicated to their sacrifice. But then people are like, oh no, but like they're selling a watch. Leave the family alone and stuff. I'm like, how do you arrive at that conclusion? Like, What's wrong with you? Also, why do you own their story all of a sudden? Why is it up to you how their story should be told?
Isn't it amazing how people pick their battles, though? Like, people come out of the woodwork to comment and create terms like stolen valor and things. Listen, history is all stolen valor. Every mention of, every battle, every war, every general, anyone who writes a book about it, that would be classified as stolen valor. And that's just chronicling. So
Right.
we need to chronicle things, don't we?
Yeah.
It's like, how about all the Auschwitz books, all the Holocaust books? Are all of it now? Is Steven Spielberg profiting? No.
Was the book for free when you bought a book about Auschwitz? Was it free at the
No.
bookstore? No, it wasn't. You paid $8.99 or you paid $16.99 or whatever you paid, because they have to publish it. Somebody has to print it, or somebody has to write it,
Costs money,
chronicle it, and print it. And that's kind of how it works. So, I'm making a little short thing on the guys at Zero West, and I think it might settle the score for many people. These guys, they love that stuff. They're passionate about their history, British history in particular. Okay, if you're going to criticize them for anything, criticize them for that it's specifically British and doesn't seem to cover anything else.
You're
British
Irish,
history. And I'm an Irish guy telling the story, right?
Yeah.
I know that came up recently as well. Like,
But that just goes to show you that you are being a vessel and you are telling a story, because
it's an interesting story.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I could make a movie about, I don't know, Chinese history or, anywhere else in the world. If it's an interesting story, you tell a story. So, but I have been told, yes, that me being Irish, in particular, Irish, okay, who we got fucked by the English for so long. We're still kind of being fucked by them, right? That adds a certain gravitas to it, that you're telling the story because the story is important and the story is interesting and so on. And it's not just Brits telling the world how Brits are amazing, right? It's, because we get a lot of that and everyone's getting a little tired of it, right? Here's an Irish guy telling the story, so it must be a great story. That's the whole point. But anyway, these guys, they love their stuff. This is their passion. This is their thing. It's like you talking about Star Trek or guitars or music or God knows what. This is their thing. This is what really gets them passionate. Sure. And they, as it happens, one of them was kind of involved in that stuff and has a history he can't even speak about. And he's an engineer and a brilliant mind, a very, very interesting fellow. And I think once I put that little 5-minute thing together for them, because I filmed them at their play. That's when I got COVID the last time. Wasn't them, by the way. It was definitely the watch shows I was at. But I think it's going to really help that. So people see, now these aren't guys who are just thinking, how can we make money off of other people's misfortune? Yeah. No. These guys really care. I'm not sure they make much money out of it either. They spend all their money on like models of the Lancaster aircraft and collecting memorabilia and so on, and they're super passionate about all that stuff. It's not coming from a disingenuous place at all. And if anyone's going to see that, it's going to be Mr. Ireland, right? I'm going to fucking see through that if they were, and they're not. These guys are genuine and they have a genuine passion about that stuff. History, British history in particular, okay, but it's like, they don't mean any harm like that. They just want to put the stories out. Now listen, what's the name of the first guy in the God, I can't even remember his name now. The second guy was Alexander Girdwood. The other guy was Polish. Someone remind me. I can't even remember. It's getting late here. Ziggy Klein, there it is. These guys went down. I never heard of them before. Many people never heard of them before. Now they heard of them. They heard of these people. Now they know who they are and their sacrifice. Would you rather not happen?
How about Benzo 818? Look at that. Look at that comment. I learned a lot from your films. Our colleges war profiteering.
Colleges, yeah. Right.
There you go. They teach you
Right.
all that stuff too, and
Yeah, and
they
you have to pay a
charge
fee.
you,
Yeah.
and they pay their salaries, and they pay their electric bill, and the
I
world
gotta say,
goes round.
Benzo 1818 was in on my other stream earlier tonight, and his comments were amazing there too.
Yeah,
So,
all night.
dude, you are part of the clan now, man.
Yes.
Your comments are fucking fantastic.
You're-
Not
you're-
just because they agree with my ideas, but they are smart. Very, very smart.
I'm assuming you guys had a little enclave about communism.
A little bit, but not more.
All right.
It was at the end of it, and I did it at the end, deliberately,
Yeah.
because I knew I'd get a lot of the we're dying, I can't breathe. He's talking about socialism.
You know what? I think people with this valor bollocks, I think that they should, and quote me, go fuck themselves. Because in order for anyone to understand history, the stories need to be told. And I don't care if Steven Spielberg, I know he didn't pocket anything from Schindler's List, because the entire profits went to the Shoah Foundation. And that it was very well known. Obviously, he's got people in his family that died in the Holocaust. Now, Saving Private Ryan, I'm not exactly sure. But I'm sure that what did that make $800 million? Steven Spielberg is a billionaire.
Yeah,
and he deserves to be. The guy's an incredible filmmaker.
What an amazing film. That's a great film.
A great one. I haven't seen it in ages, and I've been like, I really need to watch Saving Private Ryan. It's been ages,
dude. Every time I watch that film,
yeah,
there's a tear, not just because of the story. It's not. I don't cry because of a sad story. I cry when I see genius at work. When I see amazing directing, or I hear a soundtrack that is incredible and it works perfectly. I cry at the genius. That's when I get teary.
Yeah,
and it's just. There's also a scene though in that where they go to tell the mother that her sons are gone, and she's washing the dishes, and she walks out the door, and then she collapses. And she collapses. And the priest steps out of it. I'm like, if you don't you have no heart in your chest if you don't begin to swell up at a mother who raised her sons so in such difficulty, and only to give them away to that sacrifice. Oh my God. And so beautifully done, because Spielberg is a fucking genius.
He's a master.
Yeah, he's a master. Yeah.
So yesterday, I was flipping around on TCM because I love old movies, and we've talked about that. So I'm flipping around, and there's a title called, ready for this, The Great O'Malley.
Grace.
The Great
O'Malley.
No, not Grace O'Malley.
I know. Great.
We all know who that is.
Okay.
The Great O'Malley. So I was like, oh, what is this? So I click on it, and it had nothing to do with that whatsoever. Okay. It was Pat O'Brien. It's 1937, and it was about a flatfoot. It was about an Irish cop in New York, and and he's a by the book, giving out tickets, fucker, to everyone, every ordinance. He knows them all by heart, and he's like, it's blah blah blah, just being a real flatfoot about everything. And he runs into Humphrey Bogart. And Humphrey Bogart's got a car with a broken muffler, and he explains to Officer O'Malley, I'm on my way to my job. It's my first job I've had in 2 years. I have a wife and family. Can we make this process happen faster? Can you just write the ticket out? Because I need to get to the job. Well, he gets to the job. He's fired. He's late.
Oh shit.
So he goes to pawn some of his medals, his war medals. And the guy makes fun of him. He says, these are worthless. So he gets angry, Humphrey Bogart, in a very early role. Humphrey Bogart. Pat O'Brien was the star of this movie. He's a big, handsome lug of an Irish guy. And he grabs him by the scruff and pushes him, and he hits the wall, and he passes out. And then he sees the open register, and he takes the cash, and he walks out.
Oh, fuck.
But because Officer O'Malley had just given him a ticket, they find out who he was. And the story, I'm not going to tell you because you should watch the movie. I cried like a baby at the end of this movie. It was so beautifully done. It was about a cop who's a by-the-book asshole, and he puts a guy in prison, and it turns out he's got a daughter with a broken leg that they never set because he couldn't afford it, and she's a gimp and she has problems at school.
This is
And
1937. How did I
1937.
not know about this film?
And the officers, all the constablieri or whatever they are, the police chiefs, all hate him because like, have a bit of humanity, O'Malley. You're just too by the book. You know, people are. It's the depression. People are having a hard time of it. Just look the other way about awnings and crazy things that he's giving out tickets for. So they put him on the beat. They put him on. They turn him into a crossing guard. They just give him an assignment to be a crossing guard to do work with children because he can't be out on the street anymore. And that's when he meets the daughter of the guy he put in prison. And he falls madly in love with this little girl. And he does everything he can. He gets her an operation with the best doctors to set her leg correctly. And then he finds out who she is. It was an amazing movie. The Great O'Malley. You should watch it. I cried. Beautifully. 1937. Great movies.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that film.
I had never heard of it either. I was like, oh, look, The Great O'Malley. Funny. It was really good. It's on TCM, and it's a great film. And it looked great, too. You know, it's a beautiful print because TCM does a great job with restoration for old films. Beautifully done. I don't know. Do you have that app? Can you watch that over there? You have
I doubt. I'm probably blocked over here.
You just get a VPN.
I'll get the VPN. I can see it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a great one. We got Watch Happening. Oh, this is not good. I wonder, are R3 the same? Shit.
What are your three favorite? This is Watch Happening. 3 favorite Kubrick films. They're also different. Yeah, it shows a lot about a person. It's a bit like the John Lennon versus Paul McCartney argument. It shows a lot about you, who you prefer. 3 favorite Kubrick. Okay. Do you want to go first?
No.
You go first for a second. I'll just grab some whiskey because I've run out of booze here.
I need ice. So when you come back with the whiskey, I'm going to get ice. Jesus. I'll wait because I've definitely seen all of them, and I only think there's about 10.
Fuck it, I'm doing.
I know my least favorite, and I'm sure you know which one that is.
Your least favorite is probably the one set in Ireland with Ryan O'Neill, Barry Lyndon.
It's impossible to get through that film
because it's so slow.
It's so slow, and I love Kubrick slow. So number 1, no great surprise, is 2001: A Space Odyssey. Of course it is.
Right.
Number 2, I'm probably going to go with Lolita. And number 3, I'm going to go with Eyes Wide Shut because I adore that film.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the exact same 3, but I'll put Eyes Wide Shut second.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good. Yeah, no, yeah. I could go
same
either
3.
way with
same
the
3.
Yeah, those are my favorites. And I mean, that's not to say I don't love Dr. Strangelove. A Clockwork Orange is very hard to get through. The Shining is the most commercial movie he ever made. I love Full Metal Jacket too. I do. But
it's a different, yeah.
And let's not forget he directed Spartacus. Let's not forget he did.
Right.
But that's such a big Hollywood.
Thomas, I'm including you because you were so generous tonight.
Yeah.
Even though this is not 2001 Shining, Clockwork Orange. Yeah, amazing. Paths of Glory, of course. There was that.
Oh, Jesus. Paths of Glory. That's in the 5th.
Barry Lyndon.
57.
This is least.
Yeah, I can't watch Barry Lyndon. I've tried, kids. It's like, here's the movie of all movies that I can never get through is Dr. Zhivago. I can't watch it. Directed by David Lean, a guy he's a master. Can't watch it. Julie Christie, who I love. Terrible.
Full Metal Jacket, Shining, Clockwork. Full Metal Jacket, I'm not sure I put that first, but okay, fine.
I like
Groundhog Day doesn't know Eyes Wide Shut very well. It's really good, man. It's
Eyes
really
Wide Shut is good, man.
again a slow movie, a strange movie, but it's Kubrick. What do you want?
So good. So
2001
good.
is as strange as it comes, man. There was 20 minutes of just fucking colors going by the screen.
2001 A Space Odyssey is the very first Blu-ray I ever bought.
It's a good one to buy. By the way, did you see the new Batman movie?
I have not, but I know it's available on the HBO.
I just bought it on it's also available on YouTube, like on the app on TV, and I bought it in HDR or high res, whatever.
And how did you watch it without your television there?
Well, I mean, it was the other night.
Okay.
I just moved my TV today. It was pretty fucking good. I think the first hour was probably the best Batman shit I've ever seen. It's a long film.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a perfect film, but it's a whole new thing on Batman is torn. He's a torn character. He's a troubled person, and he's antisocial. It's not the sophisticated
Asperger's Batman.
It's not the sophisticated, social creature that you see.
He's not Bruce Wayne,
he's Bruce Wayne.
Kane intended it to be.
Yeah, right. He's not Bruce Wayne like that. He's a rich kid who doesn't.
Oh no, I'm out already.
It's dark.
I'm not gonna watch it because I'm annoyed that they're making it for fucking millennials. Because Bob Kane, he is a extrovert. He's the most handsome guy in the room. He's rich. Everyone wants to bang him. That's Bruce Wayne. He's also the crusader of everything. So now they're making this. Why did they have to turn superheroes? You know what? Because you're special, and you too can be a superhero. Fuck off. Batman was my first word. I said it before mommy and I said it before daddy because I was obsessed with Batman my whole life.
No way. Okay.
It was my first word, Batman.
Okay, you're allowed then ignore this Batman.
I said Batman. And
he's out there every night. It's dark. He's on his
mainframe going geek. I'm geeking out because I'm all alone in my world. Is that what he's doing? Is he on computers?
You're projecting a little.
I'm annoyed now.
Watch the first. Okay, watch the first half hour, and if you get super annoyed, just turn it off.
And also, what do you make of him?
It's also what it feels like. You know what it feels like. The film Seven. Remember that film?
Sure.
Where they're discovering bodies. David Fincher. And it's fucking rainy and dark and fucking gross. They're discovering bodies that are all tied up and shit. And it's gruesome. The other Batmans for me were not gruesome. They were you know what I mean? What?
Sure. I'm just thinking of weirdly gruesome. Did you ever watch the Flintstones? Did you guys get the Flintstones?
Everybody got the Flintstones.
So do you remember their neighbors when their neighbors Cruella and Weirdly Gruesome moved next door? They were like this, and the guy's name was Weirdly Gruesome. I mean, there's some great characters on there, like Anne Margrock and Stoney Curtis. And then the gayest alien in the universe, Kazoo. He's like, "Hi, Fred. Hello. Kazoo, where are you?" Anyway, I just think whenever I hear the word gruesome, I just think of the guy. They had like a pet spider.
Thomas liked the Batman as well.
All right, I've been meaning to click on it.
All Thomas and Benzo tonight. Look at you guys. Paths of Glory, Eyes, Barry, nice. Patterson in The Lighthouse, amazing. The guy is an incredible actor. I've got to say.
I've never seen him in anything.
Oh, dude. I ignored him for a long time because of Twilight and was, horseshit. But it's for kids, whatever.
But he got a job, and I would take it too if I was an actor.
No, the guy's amazing. The guy's an incredible actor. He's really good. And in The Lighthouse, he's amazing. In that other film where he's a bit of a drug dealer and his brother is somewhat impaired. I don't know if he's on the spectrum or something. I can't remember quite. But anyway, he's amazing in that. The guy's actually an insanely talented actor. And it's so funny because you see him in interviews and he's so goofy and smiley and nervous and uncomfortable. But then when they say, okay, let's take photos now for after the interview, you know, they take a photo for the, and he just goes into character and he's got that 1,000-yard stare thing. And you're like, oh, wow, there's an actual natural actor. That's a very rare thing. So he's taking photos with Zoe Kravitz. And the two of them just drop into fucking character like that. And like, it's incredible.
Who does she play?
She plays Catwoman.
Get out.
She's kind of a cool Catwoman as well.
Who plays Vicky Vale?
I don't know if Vicky Vale is in it.
I don't know. They took the idols and they smashed them. I'll watch it.
Check it out, you know.
I mean, when is Woody Allen going to do a superhero movie? Well, I was really just thinking maybe I could stop crime if I put a cape on.
You know.
I was talking to Dr. Gottlieb.
You know.
Yeah. I was in therapy with Dr. Gottlieb, and he said, put this cape on. And I said to Marsha, I'm a superhero. Jesus Christ. Why can't we just have what's next for Superman? He's in the Special Olympics.
He breaks a leg.
Or better than that, he's gay.
He's a gay Superman.
Everyone gay.
That's a good time is the name of the movie I was thinking of. Good Time and The Lighthouse. Yeah. Thank you, Sergio.
Good Time in the Lighthouse.
Yeah, Good Time is powerful movie. Very natural acting. I swear to God, the guy is a natural actor. And that's rare for me to see, you know. I have to say, even Johnny Depp, who I love, by the way, like the last week has been amazing. The guy I never thought was a very natural actor. I think he chooses very good roles and so on for him. But have you seen any of that shit? I've
watched all of it. And I mean all of it.
Okay.
I'm on YouTube watching it. I'm on TV watching it. I can't get enough of the fact that, listen, I have a cat, and every once in a while when my cat is mad at me, she's going to shit in my bed.
I swear to God.
But he's got a wife that does it.
How on earth did he fuck up so bad? How did he get that broad? I don't know. I guess she was the most stunning creature on earth for a while.
She's a vapid twaticus. I mean, the worst kind of arrogant cunt bag. And it's like, she is now being, this is so good for like a slapback, Me Too slapback. We got to come up with a new term. You too, or we can't say that because it's a band. Her too. How about that? Her too.
Her too.
Because now you can just say anything you want, and now it's coming out in the wash that she's just a sociopath. Fake blood, and oh my God, her attorney. It's just like, it's like the Keystone Cops. It's an assemblage of morons defending her.
Don't you love, you don't do the Instagram or anything, but there are people, or TikTok, people have put together amazing memes with music and, you know, all the funny moments where, you know, Johnny Depp comes out with a lot of cool quips and responses to the attorneys. It's actually, it's fun shit, man. It's really fun.
Yeah. The TikTok.
Her too. I think the people like her too.
Her too. That's it, kids.
Yeah.
That's
it is. Her too.
Her too. Because you know what? Listen, she a gold digger. All those people, Thomas gave us $60.
Thomas, you legend.
You know what we're doing right now, Thomas? We're war profiteering.
Yeah, we're making money off of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
I remember you talking about Amber Heard in hushed, veiled tones years ago because she was so absolutely voluminous and beautiful and gorgeous. And I was like, yeah, she's a ride. Now he married her. Because let's face it, he in real life is very much like Edward Scissorhands. He's quiet and shy and awkward and all
Yeah,
those things.
he's all well, we were there and everything takes forever to come out. And he's like, I once gave a pill to Marilyn Manson to make him stop talking. Like, it's all super low down there, and I'd probably get more girls if I spoke like that. Thomas is asking for my PayPal. You know, you're onto something, Thomas, because every time you send us money here, we thank you. But PayPal, YouTube is taking 33% of that. I know, I'm sorry to deliver that information. I will write it now if you want to get straight on the topic here. The Timeless Watch Channel.
I would give it to him in a private message, but unless you want just people to just
Are you kidding me? No, that's my open email. Anybody wants to PayPal me, that's it. The Timeless Watch Channel at gmail.com. Absolutely. You're right, though. Yeah, you don't want to be given. It's one of the sad things about this stuff. Anyway, I have to say, it's just been amazing. It's been such an informative week. But then, like, how's his career gonna like come back from this?
I don't know that he's got $150 million left. I don't know. Listen, I'm not Roy. I don't know how to blow through massive sums of money because I've never had a payday. I've never had, like, you guys had like a publishing deal where you got a big chunk of cash. Mm-hmm. I've never had anybody dump a bag of money on me. Never in my life. Mm-hmm. So he has, and he had for every movie 20 million or whatever. I don't know how somebody could blow through $400 million, $500 million. How Nicolas Cage did the same thing. And he's got a movie that looks very charming. But what are you buying? I mean, these are sums of money. Like, people say, I won $400 million in the lottery and my life is miserable now because of this, that. Man,
that's the hedonic treadmill. I spoke about that last week. Yeah. It's nothing to do with the money. It's to do with the fulfillment. It's like whatever gives you pleasure, then you change the you move the goalposts. You're no longer happy with the meal that was $100. Now you have to spend 10,000 just to think like you got something. It's a very interesting thing. But Johnny's gonna go through it. Why? Because he owns an island that has staff. You know, Johnny has his own island, right?
I do.
I know.
Right? Yeah, he's got a lot of overhead. Staff.
Yeah, he has a big boat. Boats are very expensive. Like a beautiful boat, like a sailboat. Like, he's classy. The guy's classy. Like,
the way he treats yachts, people like is outrageous.
Right. Like, he throws them a lot. He's also got a big drug habit and a big wine habit, God knows. And he lived in France for a long time, so he ain't drinking. No. You know,
you saw the list of wines he drank too. It was all, oh man.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, you can Google it. It was all DRC, Latoche, Petrus. It was all God. That. It was all all that crazy shit. Segura Familia, all that crazy shit, whatever it's called. Vegas, Sicilia.
That's a way of going through the money.
Listen, okay, so we're the cunt club. We love fancy hotels and we love great wine. We love all that shit, dude. If you gave me $100 million, I would have that for the rest of my life. I'd buy a couple of Rolexes I know I could flip that I'd make some money off of because I know how instant that is now with all I know now. I'd buy my little apartment in Fano or on the Lido in Venice, which I know would appreciate, and the rest I'd put in the back, and I would be able to take a couple of $1 million and give it to my favorite animal charity and not think twice about it because I'm not. Hey, Oisin, where can I get some Coke in Venice? I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I really need to get some blow. Where do we get that? It's all about addictions. That's all it is. The way I drink, I'll drink the greatest wine in the world with you, and then I won't drink for a month.
Right.
I won't. I just don't. I'm not a daily driver. It's not my thing. We'd have the best. We'd be the best. I always say if I won the lottery, I'd be the best person because I'd give half of it away because I don't fucking need that kind of $400 million. I'd set up my own animal refuge and then move to Italy and never come back here ever again. Ever. I'd be like, if you want to come see me, come to Italy.
He hasn't been in reality for most of his life.
No.
So first of all, he was the most gorgeous. You're not into that, but most women in the world.
I mean, it doesn't have to do with sexualizing people.
I know, but it's just like
I think he was a beautiful boy. Sure, yeah, he's a beautiful boy.
People don't understand. I went. By the way, here's a funny thing. I went by the cafe earlier. Andrea helped me with moving the stuff. By the way, and he said, "Oh, by the way, I need to tell you something. The girls who were in the other day, they call you Johnny Depp." Because I go into the cafe, I stand in the corner and I keep to myself and he knows my coffee. I don't even have to fucking ask. He knows exactly what to make me and I'm checking my phone. And there's these girls who work in the Mesner Hotel, you know? So they come in.
Sure.
So he's like, they're like, you're Johnny Depp. I assume they're seeing this. I look nothing like that, man. But I was like, okay, maybe they think I'm whatever, and
you're Johnny Depp's bricklayer,
right? Whatever, or his weird cousin who just got out of jail, whatever. But I was like, you don't understand, like that dude. If you saw him in real life, even now that he looks like a fucking mess,
he's got
that
the worst,
fucking dude is chiseled out of fucking stone. And that's what, like, casting directors and so on, you're not dealing with normal humans at all. Same goes for Amber Heard, by the way. Like that thing when a few years ago.
She looks like a dirty old prostitute now. She does not look good at all.
Now she looks messed up. Oof. But it's still like the facial features, everything is so. And casting directors have to deal with that every day. They have to deal with people who might look good in real life in a bar. Everybody says, oh, you're so handsome, you should be a model, blah, blah, blah. But when they get in front of a casting director, the casting director goes, no. There are like, we have 80 angles the cameras film from. We have that angle all the way on the side, on the back, where you see only your jawline. That has to be right. Then we have the next angle. All of this shit they have to think of technically. And most of us wouldn't pass that test at all. We wouldn't even come close. These people are just born they have the genetic lottery and they look good from every camera angle. Sure. And it just makes the editor's job so much easier. If I was standing next to Johnny Depp, I would look like a warthog from space. Literally, I would look like Shrek. And people don't understand that. I just would, because the fucker is just, it's all the right shit with the right lines and everything. It's like, it's a thing. He's a
very aquiline person. His features. He's
right.
Extremely aquiline.
Yeah, it's just all the right lines, all the perfect shit. Even now that he's
a rugby
picture,
out, yeah.
Yeah, right. It'd be a different thing. You know who I could play? I could play a cohort who's like protecting him with a baseball bat or something. The dude who gets shot.
Right.
Like,
I
might look good.
Vinnie Jones.
No, Vinnie Jones has shitloads of character. I wouldn't even qualify for that.
I think Vinnie Jones is a ride, by the way. I think so.
Yeah, because he's like a tough fucking hard looking.
Yeah. He's a Roy EastEnder bloke.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp looks like a girl to me. He's like a pretty girl.
He's so
pretty.
It's in a film. It's in a film that he was in. I can't remember. Was it Blow? One of his films he was in. Somebody said he was prettier than a girl, and he is.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape? He was beautiful in that, right? Wasn't that him?
I mean, the guy is beautiful. Yeah, it's like carved out of fucking stone. Now he's a drunk and he's older and
he's bloated. It's all bloat.
Yeah, he's wide. His face just got wide, but he still has. Did you see that? Like when I get puffy and I drink too much, I get it all there and it goes. This guy still has boom. It's still there. It's just wider, Anyway, look, don't get me into this.
Who's
casting directors
dressing him? Men's Warehouse. Men's Warehouse.
He's dressing himself.
It's the worst. Yeah. Has he not? I mean, I don't know what kind of shape is. He's always been a very slender man. He doesn't look slender anymore.
He's a small fellow as well, right?
Is he small? Is he?
He's 5'8", 5'9" or something. He's not a very tall guy. He comes in a small package, like many people in Hollywood. They're
Most
very,
of
very
them.
tiny people. Every time I've been around anybody famous, they've always been a tiny, tiny person. In Hollywood,
Except for the time when you met what's his face. It was the funniest shit. Captain Kirk, what's his name? Chris Pine. You're like, can you believe that fucker's like 6'1"? You were so angry.
that pissed me off because he's so handsome and
He's
dashing,
so
and
ridiculously
he's also tall.
He's talented. He can sing. He was in Sweeney Todd, and he's 6'1". I was like, is he? I thought he was like my height. I'm 5'8".
He's got an inch over me. I didn't expect that either. I expected him to be the classic Hollywood, tiny little weird creature who requires a bubble of, of bodyguards around them or whatever. Like they're little tiny creatures who are protected. But no, the fucker was 6'1". He easily had an inch over me. I'm like, motherfucker, that's not cool. I don't like that. Clooney's shorter. Pitt's
No, Clooney's not that short.
guy.
He's like 5'11", 5'10", 5'11". He's not that small.
He's shorter than me. He's shorter than me because he was on stage with my friend Lily, and Lily is way shorter than me. And I saw the photo of them together. So
him and Brad Pitt, if you see them in like Oceans and stuff, they're always the exact same height. Bento,
really?
18. Read the Rolling Stone article. I have a very hard time reading anything by Rolling Stone. I will on your recommendation, but I hate that asshole Jan Wenner. I just hate everything about him. I hate the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I hate it all. And it's him. So is it good? I don't know what it's about. He's not aging well. 63.
Depp is not aging well because he's drinking too much. Brad Pitt, same birth year. Brad Pitt's aging well. That guy's aging well.
I mean, he's more of a bang now than he was back then. He was just beautiful and pretty. I mean, no matter what anyone's taste, Brad Pitt was absolutely stunningly a beautiful person, like Robert Redford was when he was young.
Right.
Outrageous. Now he looks like a rugged guy, and his acting has just gotten terrific, hasn't it? He's just delicious to watch. I loved Once Upon a Time in America. I thought it was fun as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought it was terrific.
In Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay. I need to watch that film again.
I enjoyed it a lot. I liked all the Charles Mansonisms and
Daz and Joanne. Tom Hardy is not pretty. He is pretty. Tom Hardy is
Tom Hardy is not pretty. He's ugly as fuck.
Okay. Tom Hardy is a very pretty man. See, this is the thing. I keep saying this shit, man. You see them on the screen and you compare them to other people on the screen. If they were in your living room, you'd be falling over yourself. It's that distance. They're on the screen with other beautiful people.
Blondie.
It just happens.
I like Tom Hardy as an actor for sure. I think he's great. Did you guys see The Drop?
Oh, he's great in The Drop. He's the Brooklyn guy, silent Brooklyn guy, the bartender. Oh my God, he's great in The Drop. Yeah, he's great.
I watched that on a plane ride home from Europe, and I was like this. Oh my God. And Gandolfini. Fuck me, James Gandolfini.
That's one of the greatest actors that ever.
One of the greatest actors ever. Have
you ever seen Killing Them Softly?
Oh my God.
Gandolfini, and he owns that movie. He's in like 3 scenes. He owns the movie. He outacts everyone. I saw him on Broadway. I saw him in God of Carnage.
Wow.
On Broadway with other great actors. He outacted everyone. Such a natural actor. This is the funny thing. A lot of people get cast because they're pretty, because they have presence on. But there's another thing being a natural actor. That guy's so fucking natural. He delivers the lines like they're his lines, like he wrote them. It's just something. There's a slight of hand, whatever it is.
No, he had it.
Yeah,
Baldwin had it too. I saw Baldwin in Streetcar Named Desire, and I've mentioned this story a million times. We had front row, circle in the square, and during the whole Stella scene, he fell on us. Literally, I actually was kind of holding him because he fell on us because the front row was on the stage, because that was the circle in the squares is stadium seating and then a floor, and he was outrageously remarkable in that role that Brando immortalized. He was so good. There are so many actors like that. Also, he was unbelievably beautiful in his time, and there's a guy that obviously loved a drink or two because he just puffed out like crazy. But Gandolfini, Baldwin, a lot of these guys just had that factor, and they stole movies. They just like Alec Baldwin stole Glengarry Glen Ross. He stole it. They were all great.
Yeah, he fucking owns that, and that was written after the fact.
You have to because he didn't give him the Ray role.
Right,
he was supposed to get
Ray Romano.
Yeah, he was supposed to get that. And
Joanna said Lawless with Shia LaBeouf.
I love Shia LaBeouf. Lawless. I love him.
Are you talking about Lawless though?
I haven't seen Lawless, but everything I've seen him in, I think that guy's a great talent and a bit of an odd bird. And you know, yeah, I love him. I think Shia LaBeouf deserves a second chance because he's so charming when you see him in interviews. He's very forthright. He tells the story exactly. People are like, yeah, this is what happened. Yeah,
he's very honest. Yeah,
yeah.
They asked him about what's her name, Megan Fox. Did you really? And he's like, come on, look at her, and I'm a red-blooded male. I was like, I love that answer, man, because that shit, like in not Terminator, Transformers 1. Like, come on, that's very hard. I've never seen those films. That's very stupid movies. You'd love it for the film quality and the cinematography and stuff like.
Who does those? Is that Michael Bay?
Michael Bay.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, it's very hard. That's Megan like being starved. Yeah, it's like being starved for 6 months and put somebody holding up ice cream on a cone in front of you.
That's a good question. If you were starved for 6 months, say you're, what's that great Tom Hanks movie where he's marooned on the island? What's that called? Castaway. I could watch that until the cows come home. That film.
Everybody can. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great movie. Yeah, and there's no talking in it.
Practically.
Barely none. If you were on an island for 6 months, what do you think the first thing, if they said to you, well, are you hungry? We'd like to get you something. What would be the first thing you'd want?
It's hard to know. By the way, the Castaway not only doesn't have much talking, there's no soundtrack in Castaway until the end.
Yeah.
At the beginning, there's a rock and roll song, but there's no music in that whole film. People don't notice that. There's usually soundtrack happening, but only when he leaves the island, then it's Alan Silvestri, which is a beautiful piece of music, and I used it in one of my Zero West videos. I don't know. It's hard to know. Let me tell you a story about Thirst. We were on tour, the band, and we were crossing America like we did many, many times. And we broke down just crossing into California through the desert. I mean, the hills and the desert. And something happened to the radiator in the van.
Ugh.
And we got out. We were stuck. We were marooned, We got out. We stretched the legs. And we're like, oh, what are we going to do? And I went for a little bit of a walk. I was like, look at me, like out in the middle of nowhere. Like,
where was this? What state?
Crossing into California. So the next town over was a place called Truckee, which is near Tahoe.
Okay. So it's deserty.
Yeah. Going from Nevada into California, I believe. And sorry, is it Nevada or is it Arizona? I can't remember.
They're both there.
Brain fried right now. Anyway, white heat, white. We don't have that over here in like Asia. It's gonna get super hot soon, and I won't be able to fucking breathe. But it won't be white heat like you see in like outside of Vegas. Truck stop. It's fucking. It's
sub-Saharan. Horror.
Yeah, total different thing.
Hey man, we were there last August with you. We were there at the end of July. It was 100 degrees every day, but it was all right.
It was doable, right? With the spritz in your hand.
We were spritzing galore.
So I go for a little walk and then I come back. And the lads were all waiting around, like we're waiting for the guy to come and, AAA to come and fix our thing. And then I look at Colin. Colin always had water. Colin's the singer for anybody watching. He always had water. He's a big water drinker, And I was like, do you have any water? He's like, oh, I just finished mine. I was like, oh, Emmett, do you have water? No one had water. So we slowly realized there's no water. And we usually have lots of liquids and Coca-Colas and things in the van. There's nothing. We just happened to finish everything. And then we start getting thirsty. And the heat begins to kick in. And we're just sitting around in the middle of nowhere. And we start getting thirsty. And it was scary. It started getting scary. And you dry up real fast. And this is not psychological. This was actually happening. And we're like, oh, fuck. And it gets to a moment of like, wow, I'm really fucking, this is not funny thirsty now. I've never been like this in my life. Anytime you feel that feeling, you reach for a glass of water. But what if there isn't that glass of water? And now wait for an hour or two in the California sun, and so this AAA guy, this truck comes along to pick us up and drag us to the next town where we can get our van fixed, and he stuffs us into his truck. Some of the guys are back in the van being towed, and some of us are up front. I'm up front, and I swear to God, there was an old bottle of Coca-Cola on his dashboard in the heat. It was probably 80 degrees or whatever it was. It was just rolling around like he had forgotten it because his truck is full of shit. And I swear to God, we stared at it like it was gold.
It's like an old Bugs Bunny cartoon where he sees the Frankfurter.
Right. We didn't. I remember Colin being so gentlemanly, going, oh, we can't wait to get there. Thirsts are at an all-time high. I remember thinking, Colin, like, your decorum is amazing. I just want to scream.
Right.
And we got to Truckee, this little town, and he pulls up and we get out.
And he goes, all right, lads, suck my cock.
Yeah, I'll give you water.
Here's water.
No, there's a it's good for you for thinking of that. But like, so there's a truck stop there, and they have a fucking big vending machine with fresh drinks. And I swear to God, when you're in that state, you're beginning to get headaches because, by the way, your menus, they begin to dry up. Apparently, when you die of thirst, that's the last thing you feel is a chronic headache. And you're like, we were at the brink of that. We're like, well, how did we wind up in this situation? And we go in, and I just throw in a couple of bucks and get a bunch of waters or whatever the hell it was, and I hand them to Ado. It's like he sucked it like a surviving animal.
He's a drummer.
Yeah, he's like a drummer. He's like, and the rest of the lads the same, pretty much. But I took it, and Ado looks at me. He's like, what are you doing? I opened it. He's like, what are you doing? You fucking weirdo. How did you wind up in our band? You bizarre weirdo. I was like, I just want to wait. I want to see how long I can push against my instincts as an animal. Like, how long can I do this?
You could die.
I could drop dead, but I'm like, it's here. It's here now. But now that it's here, can I wait? Can I wait 30 seconds for a thing that everything in my body and my mind is drawing me towards? Can I stop? It's like holding back from coming, if you're having great sex and you don't want to do that, right?
Edging.
Here we go.
That's what it's called.
Edging? Is that what that is?
Is
there a word for that?
Yeah, edging.
Edging.
Like bringing yourself to the point of climax so many times that you can no longer stand it. That you take the level,
or when you're just dying for that, but you need to think of nuns or baseball or something else,
right? But people do it because it's like people who are into whatever kinds of kinky hoo-ha they're into.
No, but I'm not talking about that.
No. But I know what you're saying. There are people who psychologically hold off on the pleasure to see how long.
That's different. I'm talking about when you're like, oh shit, it's only been 5 minutes.
Oh, well then.
I better hold on. Like, let me think about old nuns or baseball or whatever. That's a
Old
Woody
nuns.
Allen thing, by the way.
Unless
It's a
you're
Woody
into
Allen.
old nuns. That's your thing.
If you're into old nuns, do not think about old nuns. But you know, it's like going, how can I stop my body from, because everything in my spirit wanted to just fucking. I remember that first sip. I think there was a movie years ago. Was it Steve McQueen where he goes across the desert and then he has a beer at the end? What's that movie, guys? Anybody know that movie I'm referring to?
Papillon?
No, is it Papillon? I don't know if it's Papillon.
When they were deprived of so much shit, he was in the lockdown.
No, at the
solitary.
end of Papillon, he jumps into the water and he drifts
Sure,
off
sure.
and he leaves Dustin
Wouldn't you?
Hoffman
Wouldn't you?
behind. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you've nothing left to lose.
No.
But there's a great film where they cross the desert and they haven't had water in days and days.
Ishtar?
And no, it's not. And he's like in a bar and they like slide him a beer, cold beer. And he just looks at it. It's a great scene. And he looks at the beer. And then he slowly raises it to his lips. And that was a moment for me. I was like, I feel like I'm in a movie right now because I've brought myself to the edge of existence almost. And it's like, and it's right there in front of me. How long can I hold? I lasted about, I don't know. It feels like 30 seconds, but it probably wasn't. It was probably 10 seconds. But it was tough.
Like that scene in Shawshank when they're tarring the roof and then Clancy Brown shows up and he gives them a 6-pack of ice cold beer.
Suds.
The only way beer should ever be drunk. Because
Yeah.
other than that, it's just not worth drinking.
Everybody's saying ice cold in Alex. Is that what?
I don't know what that means. What does it mean? Are you Googling it?
That's the film. Thank you. Look at my audience. Jesus Christ. I'm so honored to have you guys watching me. Ice Cold in Alex.
That's the name of the film?
1958.
I'm going to
watch
watch
that
that
film.
tonight.
British war film set in the Western Desert campaign of World War II. There you go. Thank you, my friends. Look at you guys. Kings. All of you. Let me pull you guys up.
Ice Cold in Alex. Look at
It's actually my father showed me that movie when I was 10 years old.
Too fucking smart.
I was not
Jesus
interested at all, but that
Christ.
scene I'll never forget. Maxi 67, you legend. Plainclothes Horse, you legend. Ray. On top of it, Ray. Thank you, Ray.
But I don't see him in it though.
No, he's not. For some reason, I thought. Let me see if that's scene.
Who was it? Was it somebody who reminded you of him, McQueen? John Mills. Okay, John Mills. Yeah. I see that. I could see that happening.
Okay.
Yeah. God, you guys are outrageous that you came up with that.
Yeah, these guys are on.
And I know a lot of old movies because that's my wheelhouse. I've never heard of this movie ever.
That's it. Can I pull up the scene without demonetizing the? I shouldn't do that. Yeah, guys, just Google ice cold in Alex scene.
I'm
just
gonna watch
scene,
that.
And they poured a beer. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Speaking of which, I'm gonna go get some ice. You talk to the people.
I'll talk to
some
the
ice
people
because my spritz is really not very cold.
Oh, okay.
Shitty. Be right back.
No problem. God bless you guys for calling that one. It's such a powerful scene. Carlsberg was the beer at the end. Ray. I didn't know that. You know, when you have a nice cold beer in front of you, I'm not even a big beer guy, but like sometimes it's like, yes. How's everybody doing? We're an hour and 45 in. I got a text from Archie for the link. He wants me to go over there. I don't know. That's 4 a.m. for me. That's where that ends. Last time I was on Archie, I was it the time I just started walking around Venice in the middle of the night or in the morning, early morning. What's everybody having? What's everybody doing with their Friday night, early Saturday morning? The power of the community. Yes. The controversy with Paul Thorpe, there is no controversy. Is there? I don't think there is one. Is there? Edwina says thanks for the sunrise tour in Venice. Yeah, it was quite nice to go around at 8 in the morning. Hey Blondie, you want to come on? You feel like coming on? Text me if you want to come on. I missed Timmy's stream. Was it fun? Yeah, I missed it because I was doing my own stream. Go figure. This is how it happens. What do you guys think of the isn't it a lot? The gold sub with the blue. It's funny how you see this photo, this watch in photos that are like very stark and describing the watch. It's like not so often that you see it in a real world environment, how it actually appears. That's one of the great things about these watch brands, that they're able to design something that may not look so great in like a straight up photo, but in real world environment situations, it's totally a different thing. That's true design savvy. CIA, it really sucks that there's anti-Ushian sentiment in the AC3 chat. I'm assuming that's anti-communist stuff. Apparently there's anti-Ushian sentiment in the AC3 chat. I can only assume that that's hardcore capitalist people going, he's a commie fucker.
What did I miss? That sounds so juicy.
I know. That would require us going.
But here's the thing about the AC3 community. We love Archie. Archie loves us. He loves you. You guys are great mates, and he's a terrific guy, and he's a smart guy. He's a guy without any kind of real prejudice in the world. He's a lovely, 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 lovely fella. His cacophony of fucking posers, the people that show up on his coattails, as you said earlier, they're just pretenders. He's the fucking pontiff. And he has allowed these people the grace to show up on his spot. He doesn't need them. He should be surrounded with people of that ilk, people of that stature, the greats of the greats. But he allows these people on the show.
Right.
Archie, I absolutely love you. Lose the fucking losers, because you know what? You're too good for them, man. You're too good for them. And the capitalists. Listen, man, we all know. We all have our ideals. We all know, I don't want people to eat animals, but like, I'll go out to dinner while you have a steak. He's got socialist, tendencies, yet, he loves to sell rugs. We all do what we have to do in this world. You make your peace with things. You have to. It's the rational way to go. You can't be this and you can't be that. You have to be somewhere in the middle to survive. For you. You must do it. So everybody needs to just fuck off. Archie is not a circus sideshow. He's not. He's a pioneer. He's the pontiff, and those people drag him down, man. They drag him down. He
just has everyone and anyone into his stream because
turn the stream off.
He's just looking for anyone to keep the ball rolling while he checks his phone and accepts UPS deliveries and. eats
Yeah,
his
no,
morning croissant and so on.
no. I'll
So
send you a
Blondie,
fucking month's worth of croissants to
yeah,
stop dealing with those people. Blonde?
Blondie is saying Paul Thorpe broke up with Timmy.
Who
Blondie, will you stop? Will you stop paying attention to those all his bollocks?
are they having a tiff?
Well, apparently Paul like turned to Tim, our Timmy, our lovable Timmy, and said,
Tim Wright.
Oh, yeah, Tim Wright, and said,
Okay.
fuck off. Or I don't know what he said to him. I shouldn't, what's the word I'm looking for?
Paraphrase.
Paraphrase. Thank you. It's late here. I've had a few drinks.
I
shouldn't paraphrase about it. Thank you. It's,
I know what you mean.
God forbid I say the wrong thing and then everybody fucking blows up about that. Jesus Christ. But anyway, I think Paul kind of turned to him and went, not so much, Timmy. I don't know. I hope he didn't. I think Paul, I don't know. I think Paul's a gentleman in most cases. So yeah. I've yet to see an ungentlemanly side of Paul. Maybe it exists, but I have not seen it yet. So I don't know if it's just hearsay. A lot of these guys in the Archie verse, which by the way is a new phrase, the Archie verse,
ACV
just thrive on this shit. You know, they thrive on the hearsay. They're trying to drum up controversy so they get clicks and they get people paying attention. Because apparently some of us men who love beautiful watches are like hyenas or stray cats and love to talk at the street corner, bitch like 16-year-old girls. I think it's awful disappointing. And then the Archieverse is full of that. The bitching and the, you know.
I think, and I've always thought this, that Archie doesn't realize what an icon that he really is. I don't think he sees it.
He undervalues himself a little.
I think he does. He doesn't realize that, listen, the watch game, you've been in it for several years now. Mm-hmm. I've been originally was the watch voyeur. I've been into it just about as long as a fan, not as a collector. Archie was the guy. He was the conduit. He was the gateway drug. He was the guy that we all watched. We all learned. I've learned so many things from that guy, regardless of his characterizations or his comments or his comedy or any of that. The guy's the pontiff. He's an originator. He's the OG. And people need to respect him a little bit more. He needs to respect himself a little bit more and get rid of some of these losers. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, but he has a few problems. Like he has interesting.
Okay, we all have problems. We do. Yeah, I remember when he went to the Hermes bags and got to sell my Pateks and all. I remember all that crap. You know, where he was down on his luck. And I don't know, or you know him. I don't know him. You've met him and all that stuff. And I don't know him.
I've never met Archie in real
life. You
life.
haven't met him. Oh, he went to the show you didn't go to.
Yeah.
I mean, he just seems like he doesn't realize the value that the guy has brought to the table when it comes to the watch collection world. I don't think he sees it.
I just think he's fucking jaded. He's been doing it way longer than the rest of us, and he doesn't give a flying fuck anymore. He's just like, let me just get in super chat some money so I can just pay my bills. And now it's like anything I have to do.
Yeah.
I don't even think he'd be that ashamed to admit that if push came to shove. Just like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll create controversy. I mean, the guy turns around and screams at people, and then the next day he reaches out to them and says, "I love you, man. I love you.
Sorry, I love you."
There's almost no way of knowing actually what the man is thinking himself. Almost no way of knowing.
But don't you
think? I don't say that with any sort of ire. I just think that that's the phenomena of the man. A very strange, interesting character. But people follow him. It's like a religion. He's almost religious, a religious character. And they follow.
Do you remember when we stopped watching Archie? Do you remember we both said? I said, I can't watch that anymore. I was so addicted to it, and then. It had nothing to do. It was the punters. It was all of them. It was all of them showing up on his stream. And I was like, wait a second. Why is he inviting? This is before.
He's like Saturday Night Live. Sometimes there's some great crews on. and then sometimes it's like awful.
It's just shit, yeah.
Did you see that guy? I don't know. It's Lydia turned me on to him. Some YouTuber, loads of followers, and he did an analysis of Saturday Night Live that people have been saying for decades. People have been saying Saturday Night Live isn't funny anymore. And he went through and he goes, and he says, no, it's been the same, guys. Or it's had some really bad times and some really good times, but people keep saying it's not funny anymore. And actually, you're just looking back at the best scenes of Saturday Night Live, and those particular episodes were mostly not funny except for just that scene or whatever, and that it continues to be as funny as it used to be, which isn't that funny. It has a certain amount of highlights, and it's just become a cultural phenomenon that people say it's Saturday Night Live isn't funny anymore. Kate McKinnon is a genius.
Kate McKinnon is an absolute. She is the
she's still
latest.
on the staff. She's still there. Keith, what's the black dude's name?
Thompson.
Kenan Thompson. Thank you.
Master of all things.
Master. That guy's a fucking natural legend. He's still as funny as he.
You know
ever
why?
was.
And that's probably because he hasn't gotten anywhere near the lucrative deals that everyone else has been offering.
Yeah, nobody's offered him a big movie deal. Maybe that's it. I know.
There's some racist shit for you.
There might be, and kudos for you to fucking highlight that as well.
Because I think it's terrible. Because he's one of the funniest, guys. Smartest, most amazing things that's ever happened to that show. Yeah. And you know
Black Jeopardy? Black Jeopardy. Black Jeopardy is one of the most
Peter Schmeichel.
But it's just one of those things that I think Archie goes through an SNL kind of thing. He has certain.
I got a stream up on my other screen just to see what's going on there.
Just to see.
And it's some chubby guy. The kind of he's kind of a ride. He's like, it looks like he might be going out to shoot deer. He's got kind of fatigues and a cap.
Oh, this is the guy you like, with the guy with the cap, and he's
I think he's a bit of a ride. Yeah,
you've got the weirdest taste in man. I swear to fuck.
That is 12. Then he's got a guy that looks like he might go to a Metallica show, Archie. Then you've got Bear Clooney, who I have a soft spot for. I kind of have a daddy crush on him. I love him. And then
he
the guy that
shut up a bit, but
but he's got a lot of watches though, man. That guy's got great shit.
He's got everything.
He's rich.
Yeah. He's
well,
very well.
You know, I wouldn't mind. He could be my sugar daddy. Yeah. Hey, Bear. Because he's and then he's got some guy that's
okay. You know what? Oh,
and he's got the guy that hates you.
He's got Marco. He's got Lord seething.
The guy that hates you.
Look at Lord just like burning up at the bottom. He's got Marco on the top. Marco's a legend on the top right. That guy knows more about watches than most of us. And the dude is like 23 years old.
Yeah, he looks like
you want to hear something shit right now? We're stealing from Archie because he's got 194. He usually has about 294 or 300 or something. We're stealing from his shit, so he might get mad. If there's one thing that'll make Archie mad, it's that. But anyway.
After we just proclaimed our absolute adoration,
I know. And meanwhile, he's on every night. So how are you?
He's on every night. There's no competing with that, and it's not. And it's not fair. But I mean, he
just wants to hog all the sauce.
That's the guy, though. But you know what? But
that's the dude you think is a ride in the center. Look at him. Look at that dude chopping trees or whatever he's doing.
I mean, if you're gonna be gay, be gay. Don't fucking go for the fucking trannies. You know, I'm going to Singapore to meet my Ling. She's a gorgeous girl. she's got a dangler. I like the dangler. God. People who are into that shebang. I mean, that's weird. I don't get it. But if you're gonna go that way, he's a bit of a mountain ride. And then there's the guy that hates you. And he looks like Frankenstein. But whatever. That's just him. They're watching both. I'm just looking at it. Listen, I'm not trying to disrespect Archie. I absolutely, and I've pledged my adoration to him a million times. I think he's the OG. I think he's the best guy that it's ever been on there. You know, everybody's got their foibles. Everyone's got their thing that they, you know, Paul Thorpe, all he talks about is fucking people stealing watches and robberies and shit. Everybody's got their, it's nonstop. The time, hey, I should get the credit for calling out the fucking timepiece gentleman from the get-go. Shouldn't I?
Yeah, you did.
From day one.
Did you know that he turned out to be a gay prostitute? No.
Yeah, no, I found out about it. Wow, shocking narcissist. This is I've been working out so hard. They don't care who's macking on them. They don't care. Right. Narcissists would be like, yeah, you want to see my fucking my biceps, my triceps. That guy is such a narcissist. He's selling his, you know, probably very small wee, you know, because he's done so many steroids to get that in that direction. No, I'm not surprised that of course. I've known 1 million male prostitutes in my life. The life and the people that I've known in the rock world, the gay world, all that shit. I know the guy that invented rentboy.com, which was the biggest male prostitute website in the world. And he actually went to jail for a couple of years. It was like Craigslist. He was not actually advertising prostitutes. People were advertising themselves. He was selling boy butter and creams and, you know, accoutrement for fucking ass sex. That's all he was selling. And these people were advertising, but they got him on a tax pop. They got him on taxation. And he went to prison for 3 years.
Like Al Capone. In the end, he went down for
taxes. Right. So it wasn't because he wasn't selling. These people were advertising themselves. And by the way, a lot of famous people, every porn star, straight and gay, they were all on there selling their arse or their wee for all that shit. So I just think it's that guy. I'm not shocked about anything. I knew he was a charlatan from day one. He's a player. He's a mover. He's a shaker.
Hey, you called it. Yeah, I have to hand.
And now he's finished, right? That's it. It's over. Right?
Oh, who fucking knows? The guy's unstoppable.
His channel's gone though, right?
He pulled it off. Yeah. Sorry, that's the wrong choice of words. He pulled it down. It's not. It's fucking. I'm caught in a web here. He stopped his channel. Shit. I can't even say the right words.
I have no problem with anybody selling their vagina or their penis for cash. Yeah. Knock yourselves out. Bravo. It's your body, your choice. Do what you want. If you can sell your toaster, you should be able to sell your vagina.
Right, sure.
It's nonsense that it is under anyone's jurisdiction who you sell your vagina or your asshole to. It's nonsense. So I don't begrudge him that. I just knew that from the beginning, this guy it all seemed so. Look, we analyzed all the watch channels. We watched them nonstop. It was obsessive how my whole life was consumed with finding out everything I could about speed fucking masters and shit. And then this guy shows up out of nowhere, and it was just so reality TV and shite. And I was like, you know what? I don't like this guy. So I went back to Archie after that. I watched that guy for about 2 weeks, and I said, nah, not for me. Not for me. But look, he's got the same collection of clowns there. Archie's wearing a blue shirt tonight. Let's talk about Archie's sartorial effect.
He had a shirt and tie on last night and a blazer and everything. I don't know where he was going. Like
he likes to clean up a bit. I've seen him do it.
It's not like the guy doesn't know what a decent shirt is. The guy knows
sure
his
he
stuff.
Does.
Yeah.
Sure he does.
Why are we looking at Archie?
Why are we looking at it? I don't know. I'm just saying we're just doing it. But anyway,
is Boris Becker in jail? Is that what happened?
Oh shit! Boris Becker. So he's a legend. I'm a big tennis fan. I don't know if anybody cares about tennis, but he's in jail. He's in a second night of jail because of from a loan he took out that he defaulted on, and I guess in Germany that's a big no-no. So here they'll just write you off and whatever, but he failed to make good on it, and they put him in jail 3 to 5 years. Boris Becker,
because he didn't pay off a loan for a what?
Yeah, there was some nefarious paperwork about his ability to pay. And this is a guy you think about, like Joe DiMaggio. You think about the icons of sports in the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. These people, they made Mr. Coffee commercials later on. They made Barca Lounger ads. And then you've got, third tier baseball players making $300 million a year over 5 years just because they've got a good arm. So these people, Boris Becker made $50 million in his career, which is a lot of money. But if you look at what Rafael Nadal, what Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic make, and what happened in the end was he filed for bankruptcy. Boris Becker, and he hid money. He didn't disclose that he had assets.
Where's Becker from?
He's German, isn't he? Boris Becker's German, right? Jeez, if I don't get that right, I'm an idiot.
It sounds German. It sounds German.
Boris Becker. He is from. Yeah, he's from Germany. He says West Germany.
Yeah.
Well, hey, what's old is new again, right?
Yeah, right.
It's like West Ukraine, East Ukraine.
You can't hide that shit though from the Germans. Like they're hardcore, right? They're watching.
Back to Colin again. I remember Colin called me up and he said, I just got he was staying in a friend's house in Germany and he used a VPN and he downloaded something from the Pirate Bay and they fined him $1,000.
Yeah, he watched a movie.
Watched a movie that
he went to bed because he was still on New York time, and he went to bed after a gig and he was still awake. And he was a guest at someone's house and they had Wi-Fi and he fucking watched a movie as he would normally. By the way, here in Italy, you can do all of that shit you want.
Nobody cares because it's Italy.
Because it's Italy and they have bigger fish to fry. They have the fucking mafia and stuff like that. Whereas the Germans, they arrived at the door, he had left, and then they came and knocked at the door of the
Did they knock at the door?
I think it was.
It wasn't a letter.
I don't know. Sorry, knocked at the door. I'm using it in a kind of a loose way. Whatever.
Knocked at
the notice door. Arrived. Yeah, they knocked at the door. Men in black. Yeah, it was like. So he got back to the States and then got word that they had been fined because it was their Wi-Fi. And he had to pay it back. Fucking Germany, man. Can't you guys relax for 5 minutes? The Germans? Jesus Christ.
It's clockwork.
That's a lot. It's a lot.
Have you spent much time in Germany?
No.
I have, and it's interesting.
Of course, your band is big there. I forgot about that.
Right. Well, because we had a German record deal in the late 80s, early 90s, and we were there a lot. And you have a lot of downtime, when you're on the road.
Right.
There's nothing to do. So you find, there's nothing to do. So you go around and you're like, I ran every morning. I ran to this. And I remember seeing every town had a red light district. It's like
Reaper bomb,
apartment block, church, and then the street with the little kind of low brick wall with little light, and the Reaper bomb, the famous German one that the Beatles played in. And you go in there and it's just where all the porn is. And you'd see women with a bag of oranges or schnitzel or whatever she's making for the day, walking right past and saying hello to all the proprietors of the sex clubs and the girls in the window, because the girls have their little doggies. That's just the sex trade there. And it's just every Fräulein understands that their man goes to them every once in a while and it's fine.
Fräulein.
Yeah, Fräulein.
Fräulein. My Liebling.
Liebling, Fräulein, Herren, Mon Herr. It's a very, very coarse language. Damen, Herren. Like when you go to the Jacks. Damen, Herren. It just feels ominous.
Herren. Yeah.
Just
does. It does feel ominous, doesn't it?
It does.
It feels like they have anal sex before they have any other kind of sex. They start with anal.
They do. They wear gummy.
The anal. You must
Yeah.
learn the anal before you go for
Yeah.
the vagina.
I
No?
very much like to make the sex with you, but first, I require maybe you put on this mask.
Mask. Wear the mask. Show me your papers.
Yeah. Yeah, show me your papers. Would you perhaps like to wear this beautiful unicorn outfit? I think it might be sexy. I mean, it's been parodied so many times, not to offend my German fans because I love you guys. But you guys know that you love kinky ass shit. It's good
Old
stuff.
society.
Repressed people, and
Are
they
the
were very
filthiest.
repressed. They will get into Berlin is a sex pot town.
So are the Irish repressed? We're
Oh,
repressed,
jeez.
right?
I mean,
Catholic Church.
I don't
Are they
on a public
filthy?
forum want to tell you. One time, I'm going to tell you a little story. This is terrible.
Okay.
So, God, jeez, am I going to say this on TV? I am. So, I'm with my entire family, and we're in Inniscrone, where's my family is from, which is in Sligo. It's my mother's side of the family is all Sligo. They're all from Sligo. So they all went to go to fucking Yates country. And I was like, been there, done that. I'm not going. So I just wanted a day to myself. So I went down to Killala, which is the most beautiful. There's like the seaweed treatment plant, which is my cousin's, and that's like we're related to everyone in that town. And so I'm sitting there on a bench, just having a cigarette and fucking a coffee and looking out and going, oh, this is just great. And this he's cringing right now. I can just see, right? And I see this not unattractive middle-aged man walk by me more than 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, oh, Jace, he's cruising me. I can tell. Cruising is like, when you're on the make, right? And finally, he finds the courage to sit down. And in his very fucking Sligonese, he's like, so are you from around here? And I'm like, no, I'm from New York. And
with all the finesse of a rhinoceros.
Yeah, it was so horrible. It wound up being a therapy session where he admitted to me that he was in a loveless marriage for 35 years, had 4 children, and that he was in fact gay. And he was telling me the whole fucking Catholic guilt story and all the difficult things that he wanted that he couldn't have. And I was like, well, this was 2007. This was a long time ago. And I said, well, it's 2007 and, people don't think the way they did. And Ireland is a very progressive country now. And it's not like you have to abide by the local priest. And he seemed very fine with the whole thing. And then he tried to kiss me.
Well, fair enough.
And I was like,
now what do you do? Now, what do you do if you're me?
I mean,
what did you do? No, but what did you do? What did you do?
I rebuffed him kindly.
So you just kind of push him back a little bit.
I went, whoa, thanks.
No, thanks.
This is your own journey that you need to figure out on your own. And
sure.
I said, I'm happy to have the conversation.
Now, what do you do if you're me?
I don't know. I mean, like I've had a million girls try to fucking kiss me. And what do I do? The same thing. Like, I do the same thing.
Push them back.
I mean, I've got funny stories like before I was out to anybody. And John, like one of the people in this world that I love more than anybody. You would love him. He's the guitar player, one of the guitar players in Hitman. And he's literally one of the best friends I will ever have on. Here's the guy that if you wound up getting arrested because you were a transsexual heroin dealer, he'd be like, where are you, Dirk? I'll be right there. He would never ask a question. He would just show up with the cash to get you out.
We all need a friend. Like everybody needs a friend.
He's the guy that would do that. Yeah. So I remember a million years ago, John was like, when I was young, I was so much prettier than I am now. And, like, super slim with the really crazy long red hair and all this beautiful shit. And he'd be like, oh, these girls are all fucking Dirk. They all want to fuck you. What the fuck? Why you're so fucking piggy, dude? What the fuck? He's from New York. He talks like this. Everything's a cigarette. Dirk, what the fuck, man? Are these girls that fucking look at that girl. That's Penny. She totally wants to fuck the shit out of you. Fuck, I want to fuck her. What are you crazy? What the fuck? You're so fucking picky. So he picks this girl named Paula. And he says, Dirk, I've had it. We're going back to Paula's house. I got some whiskey. We're going to fuck around. This chick is going to rock your fucking world. She takes it in the ass. She's cool. She's a rock and roll chick. I'm like, oh,
Jesus Christ.
I'm like,
it in the ass.
I'm dying, right?
What?
I'm just dying. And so we get back to Paula's place and like, I don't know what John's doing. He's like, these were different times. He's up to some nefarious chemical shit and liquor. And I get locked into a room with Paula. Just her and I.
God. Okay.
And there wasn't enough. And listen, I had a girlfriend who I still talk to this day, who's the most beautiful Croatian beauty in history, Rome Marisic. I absolutely adore her. She's fucking stunning. And yeah, I mean, that happened, but this was past the point of that. So we're in the, and she's like, so you gay? I was like,
just figured it out.
Yeah, I went 100%. She goes, oh, that's cool. I figured. Cause you just totally didn't. She goes, you wouldn't even feel me up in the car.
In the car.
She goes, you wouldn't even feel from Long Island. She goes, you wouldn't even feel me up in the car.
Long Island.
She goes, I was being a little slutty and you were like not taking it at all. It's like, so I like, I was lucky for me, but like, when you're in a band and that shit, there's girls everywhere and there's no Me Too shit. They're very aggressive. They know what they want.
Oh my God. It's like being a pretty girl. I've always said it.
Yeah.
You're in a band. It's like being a pretty girl. You get hit on constantly, so much so that you don't fucking care at all. You're like a fucking pretty girl. You're like, all you want to do is hang out with your friends and go, oh, sorry, go away. Sorry, go away. That's what happens.
Yeah. I mean,
but what do you do if you're me and a dude leans in? That's never happened to me, by the way.
Has that never happened? Have you
leans in
as a gay man? Never ever, even remotely. I mean, I think I've seen it and you haven't even noticed it. I think you're so straight that you haven't even noticed it when a guy maybe is making a move on you. I just don't think you even.
I probably don't even know. Yeah, you're right.
I think you have.
I've seen it.
I
probably think they. Oh, you have?
I think I've seen it a couple of times in Taylor's Hall. I think I'd be like, that guy's totally macking on the sheen. I've seen that a couple of times.
I don't know.
I just don't think it's so out of your.
I wouldn't assume. Yeah, I would never assume it now.
No, I don't think you even notice it.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably would. I probably don't know how to read those signals.
I think
that's out of my lexicon completely. Yeah.
Isn't it flattering when anyone finds you attractive, especially when you're over 40? Because, when we were young, let's face it, when we were young, we were all beautiful. Even if you were ugly.
Everyone in the world was beautiful.
Everyone was beautiful when they were young. Even if you were Mayan Bialik,
Yeah.
Think of the ugliest person you could think of. The ugliest person I've ever seen, I think, is Mayim Bialik, famous person. She's ugly. But she was young. She was cute. So when you get older and somebody finds you attractive, I mean, there's a word that I like to keep to myself. I don't share it with other people, and it's called grace. Have a little bit of grace for other human beings.
Right.
You know what? And no matter how repulsive or revolting or any of those things are, just have a little bit of grace, because everybody's story is a little bit different. People's desires, desperations, they're all different. And we're all in this together. And you know what? Saying no to somebody is not the end of the world, but the way you do it, the tact that you use can be very graceful and not hurt someone.
All I can say is I can't help you out there. That's all I can say.
Right. I can't help you out there.
I can't help. I wish I could, but I can't help you out there. So
no, don't say I wish I could, because you don't wish you could. Don't be.
No.
I wish I could.
Okay. I
Listen,
guess I
you're
don't
not
wish.
even the guy that no. I know you well too well. You're not even the guy in the orgy no. There's none of that. You don't know. No, the answer no is no. You're like you're beyond the straightest guy. And there's a lot of guys who are malleable. There's a lot of girls who are malleable. There's a lot of them. You know, I've made out and the girl thing. I've done it when I was very, very young. I'm not repulsed by it. I remember Mary Ryan once, my bestest girlfriend in the world. You know, we used to go around as Frankie and Giselle. We'd go to bars. That's how we met you guys. We used to go out. We used to go to McLean Avenue and watch all the Irish bands because she was in a relationship with one of the drummers. And we'd go up to the bar and as for fun, I'd be Frankie, she'd be Giselle, which, as you know, I only call her Giselle to this day. And she'd be like, Frankie. I'd be like, what's up, Giselle? And then we'd order some drinks and I go to the back. She goes, I love Frankie, but he beats me. He smacks me around. And then like I would come back to the bar and I'd get slapped in the face, by Simone. And she'd be like, Frankie, you're a fucking asshole. Giselle's a beautiful woman and you don't appreciate her. And the way you treat her, smack. And she smacked me in the face. We would do that for kicks. And then her and I would just viciously make out at the bar for fun.
You guys are fucking animals, man.
We were trying to entertain ourselves, She'd be like, listen, Frankie, I've been listening to Giselle while you were fucking in the toilet. And you're a fucking you're not even worth the fucking toilet. You're worse than a toilet, you dirty fuck. And they'd hit me. These girls would slap me in the face. And then I'd laugh and I'd be like, hey, Giselle, you want to fuck?
Then she turns it around.
Yeah, it was great. We would do that to people all the time for fun.
Love it.
Because people are idiots,
Sure.
I don't enjoy making out with women, but I will.
If you have to,
if I have to, if I really, the only girl I ever really ultimately is Natalie Imbruglia, because you know how much I avoid.
You love her, or Scarlett Johansson. You love her too.
I love Scarlett. I think Scarlett Johansson. I just want to have a drink with because I think she's so bright.
Yeah, she's.
Want to hear her talk,
smart girl. Yeah,
she's smart.
Yeah. Let me go back through the super chats because a lot came in while we were going on about what a straight man does when he's cornered by a gay man.
Shit happens, yeah.
Shit happens, sure. I missed this one. I don't know what this was pertaining to, though. Last time.
Well, it's Benzo, so we got to honor the Benzo.
Yeah, we got to honor Benzo because he's a legend. Look at him with the blue shades. It's kind of cool looking dude.
I think he looks Stalin-esque.
Stalin?
Doesn't he look like he could be like on a statue? Whoa.
Kind of has, yeah.
It takes a certain kind of man with a certain reputation to alleviate the cash from a whole entire nation.
You're so informed tonight, man. It's amazing. I'm just sitting here like watching you going, yeah. Nathaniel Goslow may be written like a German, but let's pray it's enforced like an Italian.
Amen, Nathaniel. Amen.
Linda McLeod.
Oh, that's true. It was in German. They sent him to the pokey in Germany. 100% correct.
Okay.
Mr. Linton. Mr. McLeod from the Clan McLeod.
From the Clan McLeod. Thanks for the $20.
Connor McLeod from the Clan McLeod.
Travis Watts, $10. I was hit on by a gay man once at a bar. I told him I was flattered but straight, and we had a great conversation after. Oh, that's lovely. That's great.
Yeah.
You know, hit
and
on.
If you're lucky, he was a bottom.
But is there that kind of aggressive thing? Because I was talking to a friend the other day who was talking about domestic violence situations, and there's a gay dude in that person's there's like a therapy situation going on, anger management or God knows what, and there's a gay dude in there, it's a twink who turns out to
I love that that's in your vernacular.
I know what a twink is, but anyway, I was like, does this happen a lot? Because do the gays beat the shit out of one another?
No.
There's my question.
No.
No.
No. No. No. No. No. No.
Does
No.
that not happen as
No.
much? You
I
know,
mean, of
there's
course, there are isolated incidents of that, but is there like the same kind of wife beatery that goes on in the straight world? No. 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 No.
Dana
No.
O'Malley's watching Make Out
Watch that.
with
I can't. You're like my
Dirk.
sister. You're like my
Yeah,
drinking sister.
you
Oh, my
you guys
sister
never,
likes to drink too.
you guys when you guys are in Paris, you never made out just for laughs.
We didn't. And we
It
shared the
must be
same
like
bed.
making out with a paper bag, right? When a gay
No.
guy no. See, that'll tell you how fucking clueless I am. I don't even understand the dynamic.
No.
I would imagine that
I bet
gay
Dana's a
dude-
great kisser. I mean, no. Dana and I stayed at a very, very fancy hotel, and we went to London and Paris. This is Asheen's sister-in-law, and my
She's
bestie
amazing.
BFFE of from hell.
Mhm.
And we had a great trip. I mean, we just did the bed. We shared a king size bed, and the most exciting part about it was she had lice.
Oh no, she didn't. Her kids
She
did back in New York.
She came back, and we all got tested for lice, and she had them. She had to call the Prince de Galles on the phone the next day and say, "Hi, I'm Dana O'Malley, and I was there with Dirk Kennedy, and we stayed in room blah, blah, blah. I am calling to let you know that I just tested positive for lice." The kids gave her the lice before she got on the plane. She had the lice the whole
fuck.
time.
Oh,
Sorry,
fuck.
Dana, we're like outing you, but
That's-
it's good
that's
for
outing.
it's good for the channel. So yeah, no,
We've
there
all
was
had
no
lice.
there was no
Everybody's had
makey out. No, she's my girl, and Emmett is like one of my best friends in the whole fucking world.
No, but
Even
that's
if I
not my
wanted to make out with his wife, I
question.
wouldn't.
But that's not my question. My question is
You like for funsies, like
yeah, funsies, like
we-
stupid photo.
I've kissed her on the mouth
Obviously.
1,000 times. For
Right.
like, I love you, my girl. Yeah, sure. All that.
Okay.
But like,
Okay.
no, kissing, no. No. She wouldn't want to kiss me anyway. I'm gay.
That's what I'm saying. You're gay. Is it not like a paper bag?
No,
Is there,
because
like,
it's a
there's
human.
nothing- there's no electrical contact.
Listen, kissing is probably the most important part.
It's
of
like
sex.
putting a magnet up against a piece of rubber.
Let me ask you a question. Do you like kissing?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's the best part of any kind of activity.
If you want to begin to get me going, kissing, like nice kissing,
yeah,
I'll
it's
start.
everything.
That's the beginning of Now I'm going. Proper kissing. Yeah.
Right. Like when you have been kissed, it's not when you're kissing. When you have been kissed the right way by the right person, it's like being struck by lightning.
I would agree with that.
It is the most and you cannot predict who it's going to be. It could be fucking Scarlett Johansson or John Hamm or any example, or Ned from fucking Coalition or Sally from the fucking cafeteria. You don't know who's going to kiss you. That's going to create the lightning strike. You don't know. That's chemistry. True. It's chemistry. Not to quote Rush, but it's chemistry.
It's chemistry. Yeah,
it's chemistry. And when it happens to you, it's a complete endorphin rush. It's all kinds of crazy things physiologically happen to your body. Yeah. So and have you ever kissed somebody who you thought was amazing and they're the worst kisser ever? Is there anything worse than a bad kisser? I mean, it's a deal breaker.
Yeah. Right. It is.
It's a deal breaker. And the second you find out that,
you're
wow,
you're absolutely right.
I mean, I remember many millions of years ago, and I'm not trying to scare you, the iBashers around, but I had a thing with a particular married person, and everything about that person was physically exactly what I thought was perfect, and the kissing was so bad, like you said earlier, like kissing a paper bag. And I was like, taxi. Oh, gotta get out of here.
There's no connection.
There's no connection. When the second it happens, it's like lightning happens. Like when you see it in cinema, in film, it's always truncated. It's always like they've known each other for 4 hours or 2 days or whatever, and they're madly in love. That's not love. That's lust. And that's another topic for conversation.
Sure.
However, But when they are always trying to capture the lightning on the screen.
Of kissing.
The lightning is, and like certain people have it more than other, like Bill Holden had it, and Marilyn Monroe had it. There was a certain thing where you just see it on screen where it's just outrageous. Yeah, so like that's lightning. It's better than anything. You could have all your anal blowjobs, cunnilingus. You can have all that shit, tie up, peeing on people, all the kinky shit in the whole wide world. It will never amount to the lightning that struck you when you kissed somebody who meant something to you. It will never amount to it. Never. It's amazing shit. It's chemistry.
These are the things that life is made out of.
That's correct. Yeah. Right. All right. Well, good for you. I'm glad you had a nice conversation. I hope you guys.
Dana's like throwing in super chats now. Why are you doing that, Dana?
I'll have to.
Your audience.
Do you want to come online, or are you not fit for public consumption?
I texted her earlier. She's not.
Jesus, she's
a couple of people.
iBashers gang. She's the best hang in the whole wide world. She's the smartest bitch ever. It's scary. She'll run rings around you. Yeah. It's scary how smart she is, and she's a
fucking internet mogul at this point.
She's a razzle dazzler. She'll razzle you and dazzle you, as she does us on a daily basis. And she's coming to New York to hang out.
Hi from Melbourne.
From Melbourne. Right.
Fansify from
Melbourne. So they don't say Sheilas anymore. Is that an outdated? I met a guy today from South Africa. And we were making fun of the Australian accent because, listen, Australian fans, I love you, but I hate the way you talk. I think it's the ugliest accent. That whole kind of way you squeeze all your words out, and especially when it's all nasally like that.
When you do it, it sounds almost British, but yeah, that's
the Australians. They God, do I do it that badly? God, I guess.
You're not hearing the nuance, but that's okay. It's not bad. It's just it needs work. It needs work.
British is perfect, right?
Yeah, it's getting into Britain. Yeah, it's getting.
The Australians kind of take all their words and drag them out like that, and they do all that.
You're nearly there. You're nearly there.
Dragged out, and it's all words.
You've gone into London again. It's funny.
London is more like this. Is more posh, and we went down to Shepherd's Bush and
it's not bad.
Yeah. That's not a problem. And then Cockney can do all that kind of stuff, governor, and all that shit. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But there was so this guy was into it, and he was from Joburg, and he talked like that. He's like, "Well, I'd like have you any champagne?" I'd look. Every word was like for talking. It was all
from Johannesburg.
It was all this incredible. Okay. South African is this. British thing with a choppy kind of
South Africa. Would you? Yeah. South Africa.
He goes, I'd like a coffee. I'd like a coffee. All this coffee. African with British. African with British. It was mesmerizing to listen to.
Did you ever hear South Africans say the word black? A black person.
Blick.
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 B-L-I-C-K. Blick.
She was blick.
She was.
You know what I really like? Blick pussy. There's a lot of you out there.
Boo. Here we are.
The only thing worse than a bad kisser is the band kiss. I don't know who you are, Al, but listen.
Ray Blick. It's like why did you kill Stephen Biko? Because of his blick.
Because he was Blick.
I love. You know
what band I love? Blick Sabbath.
Blick Sabbath. Leonardo DiCaprio did a pretty good South African accent.
Okay, so he said the only actor that's ever done justice is Leonardo DiCaprio. That's what he said.
Oh, really? He did a good job on it.
He said he did a good job, and he said the worst was Nicole Kidman in The Interpreter.
Ah, yes, because she was in the UN.
Yeah.
She was South African.
South African.
And then there's Africans, which is the Afrikaans. They have their own slang and stuff. Yeah.
He also said Joburg is like the one city in the world that no one should ever visit because there's no reason to go there at all. Goes Cape Town, yes. Goes Joburg, has nothing.
I'm not interested in going down there. Emma was down there in Durban.
Many times.
He played the gigs down there.
They
It's
told
like
him not to leave the
as long a flight south as most flights east or west. Can you imagine taking a flight from London Heathrow south that takes 12 hours, 10 hours? Like, can you imagine that?
No.
You're on the same time zone, but you're on the plane for 12 hours. Can you imagine that shit?
What's the number one place you haven't been that you want to go to? What's the number one place you want to go? Let's see.
I'm going soon. Prague.
Oh, Prague. Okay.
Because my friend at the Amman Hotel, that's where he is. And it's a place I want. Yeah, I'm so in. We're gonna have so much wine, and it's gonna be great. He's got insane Patek pieces that no one in the world has ever seen. He's got the most insane shit. And of course, Prague is going to be so easy to film for me for the channel. Yeah.
What watch do you bring to Prague?
I'm not going to bring anything. He's got rare.
You're going to film some of his shit. Oh,
yeah, he's got rare Pateks, like bizarre, beyond rare. Can't speak anymore. Beyond rare. So I'm going to just go there, and he's going to give me some watches, and it's going to be like timeless shit, you know.
Wow, that sounds fun. Can I come? I've never been to Prague.
Of course, I'd
love to go to Prague. My number one city that I wanted to see, and I'll never see it, is St. Petersburg.
Oh, sure.
I'll never see it now. In my lifetime, they'll never clear up this mess before I'm dead.
You think that's just going to keep going?
Well, unless somebody fucking sticks Novichok in that guy's veins, and they should. So anybody who's involved in Putin's circle, if you're a big watch fan and then you fell into the iBashers, please, could you just put Novichok in his tea, please? Because do you see where he bombed the fucking, I'm sorry to turn this into like gay sex, and now they bombed Kyiv. They haven't done that since the beginning because the UN chancellor was there. They were trying to kill him.
The chancellor.
Wow. Is there today? It was yesterday. They bombed Kyiv right after the president of the UN Council, the General Council, walked off. They bombed the building.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, that's what happened today. They haven't bombed Kyiv. They've been in Mariupol and all those other Donbass places. They sent 5 rockets to Kyiv and blew up that area because they were trying to take him out. Like, is he nuts? He's crazy.
We know he's nuts.
Right. So let me ask you a question in your estimation. If we just sent like a couple of low yield nukes right into the Kremlin, would that be
it's World War III.
No, but it's World War III already. He's going to escalate. He's escalating. We're not doing anything. We're not helping anybody. We're not doing anything. And I'm not saying
because we're on the brink of that.
Because we're on the brink of that. We can't be the ones that initiate that. But I think he's going to do it first. I think it's going to be Poland. I think he's going to go in that direction.
You think he's going to move on?
I think I'm not saying he's going to escalate to nuclear weapons, but he is definitely pushing the borders. I mean, the fact that he went after Kyiv, I was shocked by that.
He's pushing NATO back.
Right.
I'm not defending him.
Can he win?
He's pushing NATO back. He can win because he first of all, the area he can definitely take. And also because any pushback means World War III, and then it opens up a can of worms. And he's
World War III happened, right?
He's probably playing a game that Kissinger kind of conceived, and that is the madman theory. And that is like when you think you have a madman against you, you tread lightly because he's capable of anything, because he'd rather go down laughing his ass off. You know what I mean? The madman theory. Kissinger came up with it. He's like, just let your enemy know that you're unhinged lunatic, and that way they'll be careful.
So maybe we need Trump back.
Trump would probably be a better opponent because Trump would call his bluff.
He would,
and would be a madman in the same way. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Well,
in a
Joe's like
bizarre, fucked
not
up.
that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, in a bizarre. But then again, is it any coincidence that this all happened while Joe was in power and not while Trump
Yeah.
was in power?
Well, of
Like
course, all the
he
Trumpers are like,
chose
you
his
would never do it
moment.
on our watch, all right? Never. Maybe they're right. Because Donald says
Right.
and does unhinged things. Maybe
Yeah.
Putin would be like, oh shit, he's gonna nuke us. I can't do that. Maybe
Yeah, he's
he
as
wouldn't have done it.
fucking crazy as I am. So two crazies against one another you
Yeah.
don't want. While old Sleepy Joe is in power, no
Sure.
offense, but you know, he's a little benign and he wants peace and he wants order. And you know, while the madman is in the room, he's like, oh fuck, now I can get away with just going ahead with this. I couldn't have done that with the golfer. With the madman who does TV shows and wants to grab girls' private parts because he'll just pick up the fucking red phone and go launch them all. I don't care. It'll be great TV, you know. So it's
So he can't go anywhere now. He's done. He'll never travel to another country other than China. He will never be allowed in another country ever.
I don't think he cares. Does he care?
Okay, so in other words, you're in Russia, you will die in Russia, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's the end of the he has played his trump cards. He has not sorry for the pun, guys.
Sure, yeah.
But he has played his trump card. That's it. It's it for him. He can't vacation in the
it's do or die now. He's been in power for so long. He has an old vision of USSR. He still has that idea. It's an old idea. The world has moved on, but he hasn't. And he wants to kind of relive that. Make Russia great again.
Make Russia great again. Right?
It's the same exact thing.
Right.
So yes, So in a way, yeah, Trump would have been a better person in office.
It takes a certain kind of man with a certain
There it is. Probably would have been better. Stick that wild screaming monkey into the room and then all bets are off.
This is the greatest quote of the night. Jason Hui. I don't know what the Third World War will be fought with, but the fourth will be sticks and stones. Can I steal that? That's beautiful.
That's good. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't listen, I'm no physicist, I'm no nuclear physicist. I don't know how it all works, but I would imagine that whoever gets the quickest licks out will be the victor, whatever that means. And I think that Russia has got a lot of very rusty screws and bolts. Their tanks don't work. Their shit. I can only imagine.
Their tanks are total shit. They have an automatic system. The Americans hung on to an old system where a man picks up the rocket and sticks it into the chute, like, and it goes out. Like a guy has to pick it up and put it in, and then it gets shot. The Russians have this automated carousel system, but it holds all the rockets. So all you have to do is shoot just under that top thing that spins, whatever it's called, the turret, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it blows up all their bombs inside. It blows the top off their tanks. The tanks are really badly put together. They should have held on to the old system. Of course, the greatest tanks ever built were the fucking Reich. Reich had the most invincible tanks ever.
The Sherman tanks, right?
Yeah, that's fucking other level shit.
It's a Sherman tank. Isn't that the... Am I wrong?
Yes,
is the Sherman
almost
tank
a phrase? Yeah.
SHERMN tank. I don't want to sound like a moron.
Of course, they had all the steel in the world.
Oh no, the Sherman tank is American.
Oh, that's American, the Sherman tank?
Yeah, Sherman tank.
Okay.
But it used to be such a phrase, like it's built like a Sherman tank.
Yeah, it's built like a Sherman tank. Yeah. But that's the Russian tanks keep getting their tops blown
Everything
off.
that they have is like falling apart. Their morale. So like, what do their nukes look like? They're old. You know, like I bet ours are in probably like super polished, shiny shape.
Sure.
We might lose a couple of million people, but it might be the end of it. Who knows? I mean, all I know is, did you all get to drink it, smoke it, and fuck it? Did you? I hope you did. I hope you all drank it, smoked it, and fucked it.
Because you think it's the end of the world?
Well, if if this goes any further, if it escalates any further, it's the end of civilization as we know.
What's
It's
any
the end.
further? Like he takes Ukraine.
If anybody uses one nuclear weapon, it's over.
Okay, which is what you're proposing 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, if anybody, either side, I don't think we would ever do it.
Is he going to go?
Even though we did do it,
you're the only nation in the world who have done it.
who has ever
You've done
used
it
a nuclear
twice.
weapon. I mean, it was a different.
You've done
time,
it twice.
Twice.
No, like
In the
no
same
American. Nick, I'm sorry, man. I love you to bits, but you can't talk. The only people who've been evaporated in the history of the world were
was
under
by Americans. Yeah.
Was by Americans. You guys have used it twice. No one else
You
has ever
can't
used
say
it
that's
on
like
me.
that's like saying I'm white and I condone slavery. They're not my people. There's not. That was a different set of people back then.
Sure. Okay.
You know,
fine.
it's not the same.
Okay, fine.
I don't think it's the same.
No, I
don't think
I'm not
anyone
saying that you're personally.
No. But I don't think we would do that now unless, like Putin said,
America. Sorry, I have to stop you.
Good.
America is the most dangerous country in the world. Of course it is.
Why? Because we have the capability of being the most dangerous.
Well,
we're not.
You definitely have
the biggest
most
loosest cannon, though. We're not a loose cannon nation, though.
Okay.
We're not a dictator.
There's been one country that's invaded, that's taken over, that's shelled the shit out of other countries, that's used nuclear force twice in the past 70 years. It is the United States. Now, if you say they all had good reason to,
no, I don't.
We're on the right side, and
never.
Fine, but you can't argue with the fact. Like take Iran, right? The big enemy in the Middle East. They haven't actually attacked anyone, nuked anyone, done any of the like the scoreboard on the American side is like crazy other level. You've taken over you took over Iraq, Afghanistan, and so on. You've attacked so many other countries. You've been in so many. America has been. Let me just say this: America has been at war for the past 70 years.
Pretty much.
After World War II, America has been in some sort of war ever since. Now, you can be all pro-American and say, well, we had good reason and we have to keep the peace and we have to, okay. But you can't deny that you've been at war. You've used nuclear weapons twice and no one else has. If a Martian were to land or someone from another galaxy were to land on the planet, and just look at it from a distance, they would go, no, you fuckers are on leave. You guys are in a room. You're like, we're putting
Americans would be the first vaporized society. That's true.
They would just go, well, hold on. Oh, so there's a nuclear threat on this planet, which there is every single day. The first thing they'd start with, just like a detective arrives on a scene and goes, okay, somebody was raped, somebody was shot, somebody was murdered, whatever. Okay. Then they go through the suspects. Who's been in jail already? Who already has a criminal record? That's where they start. That's where detectives start all across the world, America included. You start with the guy with a previous conviction or a previous history. So if you look at the nuclear threat, who's already done this? America, hands up. No one else in the world, Iran, China, anyone can say, yeah, we already did it. There's only one country, and they didn't just do it once. They did it twice in 1 week. Now, you can tell yourself all you want and put as much sugar in your mouth going, we're the right guys. But from a distance, it don't look that fucking good. Mm-hmm. You make up all the excuses you want. It doesn't look that good at all. So, America is by far... And it has the largest military. It's the most armed to the teeth. And it completely
Russia's got more nukes, way more nukes than we do.
No, you guys have way more nukes than that.
No,
where'd you get that from? I'm sorry, man. I love you to bits, but that's fucking total bollocks.
No, they have way more. They have like 6,700 nuclear warheads, and we have like 4,900. It's all over it. I don't know what's true and what's not true. I don't know. Because as you know, I'm no patriot.
Are they 100 megaton nuclear warheads, or are they 10?
Who knows what Manhattan Project?
Look, I'm
whatever they've got now.
Yeah, I'm not behind Putin is a fucking maniac, and
No,
he
no, no.
might start World War III. But the most dangerous country in the world is America, and he knows that. And NATO is the front of that. I'm not defending the guy, but
he's not even remotely scared of America. Not even remotely scared.
Because he's a bit of a maniac. He's a bit of a maniac, yeah.
I mean, if you look at guys like Khrushchev and, you know, they were far more even-handed than this guy. He's just he's lost his mind entirely.
Of late. I mean,
of late.
I mean, he's been in power for so long. I mean, now he's decided. He took Georgia, and he went through Georgia, and he took Crimea. He basically just stole Crimea. But
and why? Because he thinks that it belongs to Mother Russia, right?
Yeah, he's in love with the USSR, the old idea.
Well, I mean, okay, so Russia possesses an estimated 5,977 nuclear warheads as of 2022. The stockpile for the United States is 5,400. It's apples and oranges. It's like 5,000.
You don't think they're counting that? That's a huge number for them to follow, of course.
I mean, and we'll never know what anyone has. That this is all very, very private, covert shit. We'll never know.
Sure.
We'll never know. But anyway, that's fun. It's fun. Listen, if we like I said to you earlier, like I go out, drink it, smoke it, and fuck it, because you know what, you deserve it. Because you're all good people.
All end tomorrow.
You're all good people, and you don't have a horse in this race. You know, I would love to go to Russia and get steeped in the history of that incredibly beautiful country and their vast history. I would love to see the Amber Room and the Hermitage, and I would love. I've never been there, and you know, I'll never see it because I have an American passport, and that'll be the end of it.
Luke, thank you for your question. Where would the world be without America? We wouldn't have such amazing bands, man. Great fucking rock and roll.
With who? America?
Yeah. Without America, oh well, of course, Britain.
Britain's got the best rock bands.
The best rock and roll. Okay,
they do.
America
I mean, weren't we all copying everybody, right? Weren't we all? I mean,
well, jazz, the great jazz scene, the amazing jazz scene of America, the great Beat Generation poetry, the reinvention of the language in the 1950s, definitely. And the idea, if you want to get political, which I assume you're being, because we've been for the past hour, probably the pure idea of free speech, which I don't think a lot of countries have, like truly free speech. I think most modern countries, including socialist and social democratic countries, have free speech, but yours tops everybody's. I think yours is a shining example.
Who's yours?
If you want me to give yours, I'm responding to this guy because I'm assuming he's pro. He wants that sugar in his mouth. He wants to hear how his country is.
How America's got free speech, and you get to say, "Fuck Trump, fuck."
Yeah,
Biden.
You can say that. Yeah. I mean, in most countries, you can say "fuck the leader." Most countries can.
Fuck Putin.
Americans like to think that. Or a lot of Americans like to think that you can't say that in other. Of course you can. People protest all around. The idea of protest is originally a French idea. So
and they do it every day.
They do it constantly, and strikes and protests happen constantly. The Kleenex laws, look it up in France. The Kleenex laws, amazing, and the Kleenex protests, incredible. But a lot of Americans don't even know that the fucking Statue of Liberty was originally French. You know where the first Statue of Liberty is? It's actually in Milan.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's on the Duomo in Milan.
Yeah,
but anyway, Russia has the most nukes. Facts by a few hundred. Do we
over 500? I mean,
okay.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay, yeah.
It's just all you need is like 4 or 5 of them, and it's game over, my friends.
If they're 100 megaton or 150 megaton, yeah, sure. And remember, Russia hasn't used them on anyone yet. I'm sorry, but that's gotta be a factor. It's like there's a room full of pedophiles. Has anyone fucked a kid? Yeah, me, I fucked too. No one else did. I'm
Yes.
sorry, but I'm going to make a distinction between. I'm sorry.
I agree.
People don't
I
want to
don't
swallow
disagree. I
that.
don't
They don't want
disagree
to
with you.
swallow like fucking
It's
face facts. Jesus
it's a
Christ.
horrible
Yeah.
thing that I mean, America really
Yeah.
needs to figure out a way to own up to the fact that the only country that's ever used them is them.
They won't ever, because when the second you
Because
do
the
that, your
Japanese
life
were
doesn't make
brutal.
sense. Oh yeah, we ended the war early. Oh yeah, because you killed everyone. Could have had a war. It's like, I love the excuses for that, by the way. It's like, how that's amazing. That's like saying, oh, I raped her to stop her from robbing a bank the next day.
This is
What the
correct.
fuck? How can you be like that hell bent on your patriotism that you can bend, somehow figure out how to, in your mind, figure out 250,000 people being evaporated in half a second? My God. And I'm seeing very intelligent people do it right in front of my face. I'm like, that is exactly what indoctrination is. Go to North Korea. That's exactly, if you can figure out how to logically figure out how, you know, that was justified, and you couldn't go to bed at night going, oh, that's okay. These people were evaporated. 250,000.
They were evaporated.
Okay. But it's amazing. It's just indoctrination. It's the same thing across the world. There's no difference between North Korea and most of the rest of the world. People are fucking indoctrinated. They want to suck the cock of their own country. It's called patriotism, which is very little
Patriotism,
difference.
nationalism. It's cancer for everyone.
It's cancer, and it is religion. It's religion. Yeah. You've got songs you sing and banners you wave. It's the same as fucking religion. Yeah. And people suck that cock hard constantly. I have nothing to do with it.
That's the last cock I want to suck. I have zero patriotism. Zero. I don't feel American. I don't feel Irish. I don't feel any of that shit. I just feel like a citizen of the planet. I want to live in the market and drink wine.
We're all people. We all sit on the shitter. We all have fears.
We all sit on the shitter. I don't feel like we were watching that movie the other night. I told you about the Great O'Malley, right? And you know what they did? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And I was like, sure. I said to Paul, I said, isn't that sick?
Yeah, because it's like this. It's like North Korea. It's like
it is.
I believe in my one leader. My one leader only and forever.
It's the fucking same shit. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's freaky.
I was like, wow, that's really crazy. We make our children do that.
Say that. Don't do
wow.
That. Yeah. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
what the fuck is
and
this?
To the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's ingrained in my brain for the rest of my life because I had to see it every day of my life.
But North Korea is a totalitarian,
but
it is, yeah. But yeah, it's like point the fingers. You know, Roger Waters once wrote a song, "Us and Them."
Sure,
tells you everything you need.
Us and them. My favorite Roger Waters song is officially "The Bravery of Being Out of Range."
Oh wow, really?
It's my favorite Roger Waters song because it just sums up exactly what it is. Wow. The bravery of being out of range, shooting somebody from fucking 10,000 miles away with pinpoint precision. Yay, you big man.
Nathaniel Hannon, $5. Ruskies have more nukes, and each is bigger due to less targeting confidence, but both can destroy the world multiple times over. It's good, yeah. So the Russians have more nukes than the United States.
Where are the Vulcans? Where are they? They're supposed to show up now. You know, Zephram Cochrane. They're supposed to show up now to save us from ourselves. Isn't anybody watching us? It's like I said last week about the spies. We have no spies. There's no MI5, MI6. There's no secret Sergei Voshvolenko in the fucking Kremlin that's really from Alabama. That doesn't exist. It's all fiction. So like all these, sci-fi movies about being watched by advanced civilizations before we're gonna be one of those things, the Fermi effect.
The Fermi effect. Travis Watts, $10. Do you believe the US would use nuclear weapons offensively today, I have no reason not to think that.
I don't.
I think that
I don't think.
if they need to,
Offensively, defensively, yes. Offensively, no. I'll say. I don't think so. I don't think the world would allow it. And also, we just no. Maybe Trump would have done it.
I don't think personally, I don't think the world has any choice. I think America moves into any area it wants to.
That's a big one.
That's
though.
the biggest guy in
With
the
the
room.
shame, with the shame already of World War II in Japan, because there is
There is no shame. No, I know
there
dozens. I don't know dozens of Americans who circular logic all the way around that shit and sleep like fucking babies at night. Are you kidding me? There's no. Once you feel in the right, you go ahead and you do anything you want. Oh, we did it in the name of justice, and we did it.
I'll rephrase it. I hope not.
I hope not. I hope not. But I absolutely think, well, 100%, they're completely capable.
Think about the people who live in
of everything.
The French Polynesians who are just like going, on their beautiful rafts, going their beautiful Mount Otomanu with their beautiful coconut drinks, and they're like, and then some fucking lunatics from the US and Russia start blowing the fucking planet up while they're just going,
look at Diego Garcia.
Yeah.
Diego Garcia it happened to be in a military spot that was strategic. They just moved in, they killed everyone, they killed the dogs, all their animals, they took the people, and they just moved him to another island and set up 2 airports. Diego Garcia is one of the tragedies of the world. Does anyone fucking know about Diego Garcia? No, they fucking don't give a shit. Hawaii, by the way, is another one. Are you kidding me? This is imperialism. Hold on. We
stole their entire culture.
Yeah, I have more respect for America. I know a lot of great American intellectuals who are very right wing and so on, very different to me politically. At least I respect them because they know, because they go, "Oh no, we're totally going to do that," and they admit it. You know, and they go, no, we have to do this because we're up against different enemies, and we're gonna fucking totally gonna. If you're in denial, then you're in the wrong place, man.
Yeah.
Do you know who your mates are? Who your next door neighbor is? They're capable of anything. They will fucking blow the shit out of anyone at a moment's notice. These guys will. Here's a great quote, and it's a film I always quote. At a moment's notice, these guys will rock and roll.
Yep.
Or at the drop of a hat, these guys will rock and. Of course they will. They'll fucking take out anyone. I don't put it past them at all. They've done it multiple times. If you think they're going to behave any differently now, that's the definition of insanity. Okay. Now we're getting heavy. We're getting hardcore. Anyway, we're on to 3 hours. We should shut it down.
We should. But I like this quote. Just bought a Bashir al-Assad Rolex Day Date Rare 1 of 1. That's a good quote. It's a good one.
There's another.
Because that guy is a piece of fucking shit. Yeah, holy crap! Well, I watch a lot. I'm not gonna belabor the thing, but I watch a YouTube channel which needs none of my support, but his name is Bold and Bankrupt, and I don't know if he's got millions of subscribers, 5 million, something like that. Wow. And he's a guy that does mostly Russian, Kazakhstani, Georgian travels, and he's a British guy that speaks absolutely perfect Russian in several dialects. And he goes to Syria, and like, holy shit, man, what that guy's done to his own people. And for what?
Terrible.
For what?
Terrible.
Nothing. He's one of the most evil human beings that has ever walked the face of this.
Hey, $4.99. Have a bottle of 12-year Redbreast, which I love. How much better is the 27? You know what? The 27 is amazing, but you have to understand when it gets total change the subject. Thank God, says
we need to do that.
Yeah, we needed it. We went down the rabbit hole. It's
Cocks,
okay.
cunts.
Hey, this fucking drink. It's okay. But this is the iBashers. But listen, 12 is a sweet spot. You have to be careful with whiskeys. It doesn't, like, the further you go on in years doesn't necessarily mean better. There's a point at at which you get diminishing returns. Okay, 27 is special, very interesting, very strange, but it's not gone into a new, stratosphere there. The 12 is a sweet spot. It's a beautiful thing. The 15 also, there's a certain point where whiskey begins to get so old that it becomes ethanol. You know what I mean? And I had with my daughter, we had was it Easter or some other time, and I pulled out the 27-year-old redbreast, and we both had a tiny bit before going to bed, and we both had acid reflux all night from that tiny bit of 27. There's a certain point at which it becomes a kind of a very special thing to pull out only on certain moments. Like, it's not 12 is where you should probably be with redbreast. Okay, so don't feel bad about not spending the $700 for the 27. The 12 is everything you need it to be, and beautiful, gorgeous. Okay, so just think about that. Like, Talisker is a very popular Scotch, 10-year-old, amazing. What's the next one up? Is it 15? Then there's the 25. Don't touch the 25. It just gets bizarre then at that point. It's too old. It's turned into weird sugar and so on. It's more expensive because it's 25 years old, but just go for the 10. You can drink it all night and not die. It's not going to kill you. The 27, if I drank half a bottle of the 27 here, I would go to the hospital. It's dangerous. So don't be fooled by the year. The year can be quite a lot. I had 36-year-old Macallan one time. I couldn't taste a thing. It was like drinking jalapeno sauce or something. It was just, there was nothing. There was no flavor at all. It was complete alcohol burst in my face. So tread lightly with that stuff.
Me not drink either whiskey.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with these problems.
No, I don't like booze. I just like wines and aperitivo. I've tried whiskey. I didn't like it. I've tried, and I'm friends with this guy. You know what he's got in his arsenal? He's got like the best shit. I was like, ew, it tastes like a Band-Aid. Smells like a box of Band-Aids.
Ben Parker, you're right. 10 years is great. 12 years, Travis, you're right. It's a sweet spot. 21 can be amazing. And I have a lot of 21-year-old whiskeys. They can be great, but you're not drinking half a bottle of it. This is a thing you have one pour, like I wouldn't say shot, but a pour, like
a wee dram.
A wee dram, like a 2-finger with a cigar on a special night. After that, you're done, because this shit is like, we've gone beyond the beyond. Yeah.
Have a wee dram. You stupid haggis.
No, Scotch smells like Band-Aid.
It does. Oh, yeah. No. You like, but don't lie, girl. Oh, she likes bourbon. Ugh.
She likes bourbon, which is plum. It's all plum.
Tastes like a sugar, like just Domino sugar.
Yeah.
It's like whiskey with sugar in it. Ugh. Blah. All of it's gross. Blah.
We're on 3 hours. Let's get the hell out of here.
Let's get the hell out of
here. Thanks for watching the iBashers. We got hardcore, we got heavy, we got sexual, we got political.
We got dirty.
Check mark. We pissed people off. I lost subscribers. Check mark.
Do you know what you should do? You should make out with another man, set off a nuclear weapon, and drink whiskey. That's what you should do. Drink it, smoke it, and fuck it, and we love you.
Have a great night, guys.
That's all I have to say.